creating a song off the top of my head. We're back.
I know, you sound very lyrical today.
Yeah, well, you know, it's just got past Valentine's Day. I got a song in my heart.
Very true.
Yes.
It is past Valentine's Day. It is another episode of Cinema Discovery Project with myself co-hosting with Stephen Billings. I'm Andrew Cabral, and we are post Valentine's Day, but we're also post Academy Awards, because the last time we had an episode, it was pre-Academy Awards,
yes,
which we did a breakdown of most of the categories of the Academy Awards, and a lot of our predictions were right. Some of them were pleasantly wrong.
Yeah.
And the biggest one I think I was wrong about, and I think we were both kind of in agreement of being wrong about.
We were being
Parasite.
very cynical about Best Picture.
Yeah, I mean, I have no faith in the Academy Awards' ability to get things right nowadays. And they actually did get something right, and that was giving the best movie, in our opinion, the top award, which was Best Picture for Parasite. And Parasite pretty much was dominant during the night in terms of, I think, just social media dominance and people rooting for it, as well as rooting for, Bong Joon-ho kept going up and just having
he kept thinking he was done, and they had to go back up there again. And
not only that, but just like his speeches were like not noteworthy, but like by a certain point, he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna."
They were
drink
genuine.
After this.
They were genuine because he goes up there. My favorite of his was when he get the directing award, because he went up there and instead of boasting on, you'd think he'd talk about the film and talk about the people he worked with. He did a little bit, but like he decided to talk about the people that influences him, and they were in the room.
Yes.
When he talked about Martin Scorsese and how his films influenced him, and then he went over to Tarantino and said, you talked about my movies, and you got people aware of my movies in the States, and he thanked him for that, and I thought that was just classy.
Yeah, they gave Martin Scorsese a standing ovation.
Yeah,
because he's a living legend. And a lot of people, including myself and many, many film fans, filmmakers, film enthusiasts, have learned a lot by watching Martin Scorsese's films, as well as Quentin Tarantino, as well as, many people still working today. But it was nice to see Martin Scorsese get, further recognition for his contribution to movies.
Well, especially with all the press, the bad press of sorts.
Oh, yeah. With
all the Marvel stuff and all that stuff,
yeah.
It's good to see
people
appreciate him in the right light, but yeah, I mean, what about the show overall? Like, what did you think of the show overall?
The show itself was kind of a mess. I thought it was really messy. Just the way they presented things and the way they really, really kind of looked like it was slapped together, a lot of it.
Well, they obviously were trying their best to cut time. Like, they were not transitioning things as much. They would just be times where a musical performance would start and they wouldn't even introduce it. It would just happen.
What's interesting is I thought they did a really bad job with cutting time, because they would waste time on bringing out people to introduce people to then introduce the categories.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you really want to cut time, just have these people present together. Like, there was no point of having one person come out to announce another person, and then they announce the categories. If you're cutting for time.
The thing is they used them opportunities to bring some sort of connection to a movie that they didn't nominate. Like, oh, look, Kelly Marie Tran. Oh, look, we can get our, diversity in there. And, hey, Star Wars didn't get nominated, but for special effects. So there you go.
What is very interesting is a lot of people made this comment on social media, is that she got more like recognition and more
she got more screen time on the Oscars than she did in the movie.
Than she did during the movie. It was kind of hilarious and both sad at the same time.
Yeah.
Because we mentioned it when we talked about the movie. She deserved much more screen time than she got. Yeah. But I just thought it was kind of a messy show, much messier than last year. And last year didn't have a host either. It seems like they overcompensated with.
You know what they need to do with the music, which I get.
I know what you want. I know what you're gonna say.
Well, I mean, I would say cut them, but no.
Yeah.
But you know, but if they're not going to cut them, they should try to do almost like a medley of all the music, all the songs. Cut them down and make a medley where you can have a performance that tributes to all the songs of that year instead of doing 5 separate performances throughout the night.
Well, I mean, the problem with doing that is you've got to bring everybody on stage at the same time, and they're all different songs.
Sure,
you know,
I get
whatever.
it. You create a medley, and like they did with the music in general when they did the scores. With the scores, they did this, which was one of my favorite presenting things of the night, was when they did the scores and they switched with the orchestra between each score. Do the same thing with the songs. Do a switcheroo, do a medley, you know, make it a show, and that's it. We're done with them. Like, I don't need to have every song played out all the way throughout the night. And then in the middle of it, fucking Eminem shows up.
That was crazy.
What the fuck?
I walked away and then I came back and because they did like a montage of like songs and movies and stuff like that, and they really didn't go back like past like 1975 or something. But anywho, they like all the songs that have been nominated, like you said, it was like a montage.
Yeah.
And then and then I walked away because I'm like, oh, whatever, and then to go to the bathroom, and I came back and all of a sudden there was a wide shot of the stage and the lights are blinking and the music from Don't Lose Yourself, like that opening bass beat or whatever was in. I'm like, and then I said, and I was like, man, if Eminem comes out, that'd be kind of cool. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is happening.
Wait a second, it is Eminem.
And wait a minute, this is actually happening. And there was no reason for it.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
Now, I know there's the whole thing of he didn't come out for when he won the Oscar. Like, he wasn't there to accept the Oscar years ago.
Yeah, but that was like 18 years ago or so, or something like that.
Yeah, but
and
still,
like,
I get it. But it's like, who cares? Like, I don't.
But it was so abrupt and jarring that when they were cutting back to the audience didn't even know how to react. It was really awkward. Whoever was producing that show, and who was, because they're the ones who like dictate, okay, now, you know, cut the camera this, cut the camera that, you know, they're the ones, you know, wheeling and dealing back there. They were cutting to people who weren't like reacting. They were just like staring into space, and it's like, when you want to do those audience shots, you want to make like, it wants to be like an effective shot, and they just weren't. You know, there was the shot of Scorsese will like look like he was sleeping or something like that. That became an instant meme on the internet.
Well, also the Billie Eilish one, which she's like,
where she was like looking off like, what's going on?
What the hell?
I hope she knows who Eminem is.
I think she does. I think from what I understand, she doesn't have an affinity for the rap genre. So, okay.
Well, I mean, that song's been so much part of pop culture for like 20 years or so that you almost can't unavoid it. Like, pretty sure they played at every, I don't know, sporting event. Everywhere.
Yeah, it's became kind of one of them anthems.
In high school, I went to high school 2002 to 2006, and they played that song at every single pep rally for every single football game, and it just became like repetitively annoying after a while.
Yeah.
Because I understand what the point of the song is, but damn, there are other songs out there you could use to get people pumped up.
Yeah. Yeah,
but that was kind of weird. But like we said, Parasite winning was huge and just gigantic for.
What did you think about some of the speeches? I liked certain one. I liked the one from the woman that won for best score.
Oh yeah,
hers was very good. The worst one of the night. Look, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix. His was fine, but
you knew that his was going to be.
I knew
wild.
Since everyone he's done so far has all been political and crazy.
Right.
I expected it. The worst of the night was Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, it kind of went on literally for way too long.
I kept thinking it was going to end, and then she just kept saying stuff. I think she was drunk. I don't know what it was. She would not. Medicated. She kept saying stuff, and I was like, "Stop talking."
I mean, she could have been nervous, which is kind of weird to me because
she's already won.
She's been there before. I mean, literally been there before. I don't know. I mean, I couldn't say, but it went on a little bit too long, and I'm surprised they didn't play her off.
Yeah, but they played fucking Parasite off within 5 seconds.
Oh, they did, and then they had to.
And then the front row was like, "No, fuck it," you know. Thank you.
How do you? They turned off the lights.
Yeah.
How do you turn off the lights on the best picture winner of the night?
Winner?
Who's producing that show? oh my goodness.
And then look, honestly, even the shots of like whenever each winner got on stage, the way it's like they were doing this like close up upward angle that was weird.
Yeah, it's the Citizen Kane shot.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird shot. Typically, you get the stage and you get kind of this like up top, kind of like down, looking down at the stage at the end. You get more of a profile, a wider shot.
Yeah, it's a wide shot of them walking to the podium. They get the trophy, and then it pretty much cuts to like a medium shot.
But it was like this kind of like upward close up shot. It was kind of weird. It was kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it was a mess.
Yeah, it was kind of a mess of a show, but I'll say this: when it came to my overall predictions, because I posted all like predictions for like
yours were pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, my 20 categories on Facebook, and I was nailing all of them up until
sound.
The sound, yeah,
you had them switched around the wrong, yeah.
I switched sound mixing and sound editing because those two categories are still confusing to many people, but I switched them. I had like Ford v Ferrari for one, and
you had it for mixing, and then you had 1917 for editing when it ended up being the other way around.
Yeah. And then I think I missed on some other ones, but I was nailing like production design, which was Once Upon a Time we talked about costuming and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we talked about it last time. A lot of this year's awards were very predictable, very much telegraphed to us when it came to all the big awards. The Jojo Rabbit one ended up happening, which I think if you were in the film award like aficionado circle like a month ago or 2 months ago, you wouldn't have thought that would have won Best Original Screenplay, or was it Best Adapted?
It was Best Adapted.
Yeah. Best Adapted, yeah, it won Best Adapted, because that was like something that was, just recently becoming a trend. But I think it was really great is the after award show, where you got to see all the video and like pictures from the after parties. Those are always interesting. What was really a really fantastic picture that's going around is Bong Joon-ho going to the after party, and the director for Portrait of a Lady on Fire, Celine Sciamma, giving him like a big hug, and she's holding the Best International Oscar Award, and it just looks like there's such a bond through cinema with a lot of people who are making films and whatnot, and you kind of see how strong that cinema kind of can bring people together. Yeah, and there's a great quote that goes with it, and I should have pulled it up, but I can't remember. But basically, like Bong Joon-ho told her that like you should be the one holding this award, the Best International Film Award, even though, like we said, her film wasn't even submitted because France went with a different submission. Yeah. But I just like that movie's starting to get a lot of traction now. Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
It's coming out in a wider release.
It's supposed to come out like last weekend. Yeah. In a wider release, and I don't even think it still came to a lot of cinemas. No. But if you can track that movie down at some point, because it's amazing. I'm hoping it gets a Blu-ray release. I mean, within the next couple of months, that'd be kind of nice.
It'll be a year from now, like Columbus.
I know, take forever. I don't even know who has the rights to it, but somebody's got to snag.
Oh no! It's coming out on Criterion.
Oh yes,
yeah,
yes. That's another news story.
Yeah, we should. Let's just say it real quick.
The movies that are coming out that Criterion has got their hands on, modern movie, The Irishman, Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
These are a lot of Netflix movies. Yeah.
Marriage Story, Atlantics. Yeah, I think also got picked up.
And the American Factory.
American Factory, which is kind of...
It's a documentary that won.
Yeah, that was another one that I didn't get right, but it was it's kind of surprised. That one kind of surprised me the most, to be honest with you. The other one's not really, but it's kind of nice that
Memories of a Murder.
Oh yeah,
from Bong Joon-ho, and then of course the Parasite's getting a Criterion release.
Yes. That's going.
And then I've heard Portrait of a Lady on Fire is going to get a release too.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that. Apparently, Netflix and Criterion have a nice
thing going. Now. Yeah, and Other Side of the Wind apparently is being worked on.
What's that?
Other Side of the Wind is apparently being worked on.
Yeah, the Orson Welles film from a few years ago that they finally were able to cobble together to finish. But those movies are all coming from Criterion. That's going to be interesting to see when that comes out. Like, are we going to get a Parasite Blu-ray by the end of the year, or are we talking next year? Portrait of a Lady on Fire, that's another thing, because I know that Criterion just announced new release titles recently, so we know that it's not coming within the next couple of months.
Probably not. No.
So we're gonna have to wait a little while, but it's worth waiting for.
Oh yes,
because those movies are really, really good. But I guess we'll transition into our main topic.
Yes,
right?
and before we do that,
okay.
I want to say, usually I say this at the end, but just so for people that are already listening, please, if you follow us on podcasts like Apple Podcasts, please go over there and rate us. Give us a review. We'd like to hear from you guys. Also, if you're on Podbean, you go over there and on Podbean and give us a rating. But yeah, without further ado, our main topic is we're just going to kind of go through each week of the coming year and kind of, give our impressions of the new movies coming out this year. We're going to do our best. We don't know all these movies. Some of these release dates might be wonky. They might not even be the right release dates, but we're going off of a website. So we're going to try our best to talk about some of the stuff that's going to excite us for the coming year. So we're going to start with this week. We don't need to talk about anything before us. You guys know what came out.
Yeah, we all know what came out. Basically, we're only a month and a half into the new year, and so we'll start with February 21st, which is not, I wouldn't say, an exciting release week. We have a movie called Brahms, The Boy 2, and we have The Call of the Wild. Now, The Call of the Wild is a book adaptation, and
they've done it multiple times.
They've done it multiple times. Isn't it Jack London?
Yeah, Jack London story.
London, Call of the Wild. This stars Harrison Ford and a CGI
dog.
A CGI dog. And man, when you see the trailers for this, that dog looks CGI.
It looks bad. Yeah.
That dog looks very CGI, and it looks a little problematic. And then I just saw like a screenshot of like the person in mocap suit as the dog, and I'm just like, is this real? Is this real? Harrison Ford have to do this? I guess so. I don't know why he would do this movie. Doesn't seem like a Harrison Ford thing. And Brahms, The Boy 2 is a sequel to The Boy, which was a horror movie that came out couple of years ago. This movie stars Katie Holmes. That's kind of really it. I mean, if you like January, February horror, there's a reason why these movies get stuck this time of year, because they're not particularly great. But yeah, so that's that. And there are a couple of limited releases, but I'm not sure about any of these films.
Emma's got Anya Taylor-Joy. I've seen previews for this. It looks kind of interesting. It's based off a Jane Austen story.
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is a Jane Austen adaptation. Bill Nighy's in it.
Yeah.
Mia Goth.
It looked like it was a pretty fun movie. I think I'm definitely gonna check it out.
It's a period piece. It's based off of classic literature, classic British literature. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm curious
see how
on
wide
that
it's going to get. Okay.
I'm not sure about. We got Goldie. I'm not sure about that. The Night Clerk. Night Clerk's got Ty Sheridan in it. Helen Hunt, John Leguizamo. I don't know. That might be interesting. Might be worth looking into.
Oh, Anna de Armas is in it. Helen Hunt. Interesting. Very interesting. But that's a limited release.
Yeah, these are all limited releases.
Who knows how far this is going to go.
Yeah. So I guess the 28th.
28th, we have The Invisible Man.
Ooh.
Now,
that's one to talk about.
That's one to talk about, because this is a version of the Invisible Man story that is loosely based on the Universal classic horror monster. It's taking kind of that same premise and utilizing it again, kind of like Hollow Man, something like that, where it looks like horror thriller starring Elizabeth Moss. And the trailer looks really good for it that I've seen.
Yeah, I think there's been loose talk about the fact that this might be a restart of the Universal Monsters universe, because obviously they tried it with the big budget angle, and now this is a Blumhouse movie, and it made for a lot smaller budget, and I like this is the way I wanted them to go when it came to these movies anyway. So hopefully it's probably going to be successful, I'm sure, because it was only made for like $5. So
it does look like, well, technically $7 million.
Yes, but that's almost nothing. Yeah,
that's the Blumhouse budget.
It's like under $10 million basically. I think they spent $20 million on Glass. I think that that's probably like most of that was the actors.
What is interesting is that apparently at one point this movie was called the Untitled Universal Monster Project. Yeah. So you are correct.
I think that this is their attempt. They're not saying it yet because they don't want to jinx it.
I mean, the production companies is Blumhouse Productions, Dark Universe stuff. So this could be what you're saying, but they're not playing it up as it actually being like they did with...
They don't need to, because when they try to make plans, they fuck it up.
Yeah, like, The Mummy with Tom Cruise, where they were shoving that Dark Universe right up your face.
Well, they need to do what Marvel did, which is give each character their own movie, and then somehow find a way to very easily, like in whatever the fifth movie is or whatever it is down the line, find a way to thread it. Like, don't try to force it into every movie. Like,
well, don't thread it right away. That's what they tried to do.
Yeah.
Like, they really
tried to build out the world.
Yeah, that whole movie was setting up the world right away, and became very bloated and just a mess of a movie for so many different reasons.
Well, the thing is what is your selling point for these movies is the characters, not building some superhero world. Like, you have to get people invested in these characters first, and so they need to make these smaller personal movies to get us invested first, and then you can maybe bring it up a notch. But so I'm excited for this movie.
I'm very curious about it. Oh, you know what? You know what's coming out that week? Because I don't think we'll have time to go through every single release.
Sure.
But The Jesus Rolls is getting a limited release, and this is I believe this is the quasi spin-off film from The Big Lebowski with the Jesus character portrayed by John Turturro. And I don't know if you've seen the trailer for this.
No.
But this film has been
I've seen the trailer.
For years. Like, I'm pretty sure this movie was done like a while ago, and they've just been working on trying to get it released. And it has the Jesus character, John Turturro. The trailer looks weird, but I mean, his character is kind of weird. Like, he's getting out of prison and all kinds of stuff, but he's still bowling. I'm curious to see what this movie actually is, because I've been hearing about it for at least 3 years. And John Turturro, I believe, directed it as well.
Okay.
So that's getting a limited release.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out if I can. I know that. See, this one movie, Wendy, coming out in limited, is like inspired by Peter Pan's story, and it's by the director of Beast of the Southern Wild.
Oh yeah, what's it? Oh, what was his name? Benny something. Benny Zetlin, was that?
Yeah, that's it, Benny Zetlin. Yep.
And it's taken him a while to get another movie out.
Well, I think he's definitely working on a very indie budget. He's probably been fighting to try to get backers, get it sold.
Yeah, it was Ben Zetlin, and he hasn't done a movie since 2012. It's been 8 years.
Yeah,
damn, that's a long time in between movies.
That some directors are like that, man. They take their time. They need to find inspiration. And
I just meant because he was so hot. Like, that movie was such a hot thing when it came out.
The girl was nominated.
Grabbed him up.
Wasn't she nominated?
Yeah, Quvenzhané Wallis.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good movie. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was nominated for 4 Oscars. I mean, it was a critically buzzed movie at the time. It was nominated for Best Picture of the Year when it came out. I mean, and adapted screenplay and directing. Yeah, I was curious that he he didn't get snagged up, and then all of a sudden he's making. Somebody's making him make movies, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see that film as well. So,
March 6th.
Move on to March 6th. Yes, you're right. And here we have Pixar's Onward, which is Pixar's newest film.
It looks pretty good. I'm always interested in Pixar. This looks like it's going to make us cry. And I do like Chris Pratt and Tom Holland as the voice duo here. They'll probably have some good chemistry. Yeah, that one. What do you think about that one?
I'm curious to see it too, because we've been hearing about it for at least a year.
Yeah,
maybe a little less than a year since like D23, or we've been hearing about it since Comic-Con and stuff like that. I haven't seen trailers for it for the last couple of months, so I've been waiting to see it. I'm curious. Why did they call it Pixar's Onward and not just call it Onward?
I don't know.
Why did they have
to?
Do
you really need to advertise that it's a Pixar movie?
Yeah, it's like people you just put the Pixar logo on it, people will go see it. I mean, by this point.
Yeah.
But the next movie is The Way Back, which is the Ben Affleck,
which is the prequel to The Way Back. No, I'm just kidding.
Nice joke. And The Way Back, which is it's kind of like Hoosiers meets some alcohol redemption story.
I was gonna say it's like Hoosiers, but if the Dennis Hopper character was the main coach.
Yeah, and he was like making like a comeback, like a life comeback as well.
Yeah.
It seems like one of those inspirational, films.
You don't get a lot of sports movies. We don't get a lot of sports movies, and every once in a while when we get one, I'm always interested. I like Ben Affleck. I think he has more range than he gives himself sometimes. Because
as an actor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think he's a good. I honestly think he's a good actor.
I think he can be. I don't think he always gives everything he can, especially when he's directed himself.
I mean, Argo, he's great in Argo.
I think he's okay in Argo. I think his best role. I think his best role. I mean, The Accountant. I think he's interesting. I think very nuanced. In that.
I think underrated.
But yeah, he didn't direct that. So.
Well, this is the same director though as.
Well, yeah,
as
it
The
is.
Accountant.
It is. What's his name?
Gareth O'Connor.
Yes, that's it.
Let me make sure.
Yeah, that's it.
But I mean.
Gavin O'Connor.
I was close. Like Gavin O'Connor, who's a good director. Gavin O'Connor.
Yeah, Warrior is one of my favorites.
Warrior is so underrated.
The Accountant
Accountant is underrated. I was gonna say Jane Got a Gun, but that movie has a lot of production problems.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
That's the one with Natalie Portman.
Yeah, it was that one that had all the
Natalie
production
Portman
troubles.
Western movie. That's the movie that was supposed to be directed by Lynn Ramsey, and then right before production started, Lynn Ramsey left the project.
And they changed actors a bunch of times too.
Yeah. That movie languished.
Ended up being with Natalie Portman in it.
Yeah, I think she was trying to get that movie off the ground, and it just, like I said, production problems. So I don't know how much Gavin O'Connor was involved with actually ended up making it. Yeah. But I'm curious about The Way Back. I mean, living from an hour south of Boston my whole life, the people who always end up making it big here are also always end up being like local, like legends, heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark Wahlberg, the Afflecks, Matt Damon, et cetera, whatever. And so, like, there's always a penchant for wanting to root for people that are from around here. And I get maybe that happens geographically everywhere. But I've always liked Ben Affleck. I mean, granted, there's a lot of stuff in his career that's not very good. I mean, Geely's a career killer for most people.
Reindeer Games.
Yeah. A lot of his... I think there's a lot of that early stuff in the 90s that maybe not great. I almost kind of forgive because, like, he's he's a working actor. He's got to...
sure.
Take the offers that he's given to work. But when he became super popular, I think is when, like you said, things became not lazy, but like not as interesting to him. A lot of his earlier work I like a lot, like the role he has in the movie with Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah,
I think is fantastic. When he comes to Boston, he readapts the accent. For some reason, his acting goes up like 10 times.
Yeah, he didn't have to think about his voice anymore.
Also, I know this is super controversial, or not controversial, but maybe a hot take. I absolutely loved him as Bruce Wayne / Batman. But that's a story for a different time.
I think he had. I don't think he was given a lot, but he didn't do much because we only seen him
In two
movies, and they weren't movies about Batman necessarily.
I mean, I don't want to go down a huge rant because I'll go not a huge tirade, but like I liked his version of Bruce Wayne / Batman. I found it infinitely more interesting than a lot of the other Bruce Wayne / Batman we get, who we have to go through the obligatory origin stories again and all that stuff. This was like a fully formed, messed up Bruce Wayne who had like 20 years of experience of like fighting crime in Gotham and being messed up because of it. I like that version, but that's a different story.
Yeah.
But let's move on.
Well, we got the Banker, which is a movie that was supposed to already have come out by Apple TV. It has Sam Jackson and Nicholas Hoult and
Anthony Mackie,
and it got pulled for some reason. And then now it's supposed to be coming out. Yeah, it was supposed to come out in December, and it got pushed. And
it was supposed to come out December 6th.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
So
I guess there was a trailer for it.
Yeah, so there is a trailer. And it's a good cast. I don't know much. I mean, the director is George Nolfi, who did The Adjustment Bureau and Birth of a Dragon.
Adjustment Bureau, underrated movie.
Yeah, I like Adjustment Bureau. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
I
don't really know much about these other ones.
No, neither do I. So I guess
let's move on to 13th.
March 13th, we have Bloodshot, starring the one and only Vin Diesel.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I don't give a shit about this movie.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Stephen, that I'm very curious about this movie for other reasons other than the movie itself. Like, can Vin Diesel be successful in anything other than the Fast and Furious movies? Because he's tried, and with mixed results. I mean, Triple X wasn't exactly his franchise, not really a franchise in general. The Riddick franchise, with 3 movies, has its ups and downs. But I kind of like those movies. I think Pitch Black, the first movie, is super underrated as like a relatively low budget sci-fi. But I'm curious because I know a little bit about this property. It's a comic book property from Image. Is it not Image Comics? It's from I think it's not Variant. I'll look it up. But I've seen the trailer, and this is going to be very CGI dependent, and I'm hoping they have the budget to pull off a lot of these effects, and I'm hoping the story is interesting enough to grab people.
It's Valiant Comics.
Valiant. I almost said Variant, but that's not.
That's a YouTube
Comics.
Channel.
Variant is also like in comic book world. Variant is like variant covers for different issues of comics. Like it's like an alternate cover of what the regular cover is. It's the comic book thing. But back to Bloodshot. It's not part of the, it's not a Marvel. It's not a DC. It's not even an Image.
It has the potential to start a new universe.
Yeah, it does. Who knows if it's going to be successful or not? I mean, it's kind of March release isn't exactly a small release date anymore.
No.
I mean, February and March are slowly getting larger and larger over the last few years. I mean, it's lucky that it's not going up against any of the comic book from any of the other studios. It's not one of those years where Marvel drops a movie in like February or something like that.
Yeah, it's a little slim pickings, but I can tell you it's not the movie because this is my birthday week.
Oh,
and it's Bloodshot's not going to be what I'm seeing.
Will you be seeing the next movie?
Yes, I was going to say I'm going to be seeing The Hunt.
Okay,
this is
go on.
This is the movie that had controversy. Another controversial movie. This movie got put on the shelf because of political stuff. This is a movie by filmmaker Craig Zobel, who did Z for Zachariah, which was a small...
underrated.
Yeah, a small movie that had with Chiwetel Ejiofor, what's her name? Margot Robbie, and a third person that's of relevance. I can't remember who it is.
It's not...
Was it? It was Chris Pine.
Chris Pine?
Yeah.
Pine?
Yeah, it's a decent little indie. But it's got a bunch of people in this movie, notably Hilary Swank, Emma Roberts, Justin Hartley. I mean, it's basically you could say a remake of Battle Royale, or
Or
Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah, Most Dangerous Game. I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the reason.
I guess the reason why it was controversial was because it was a bunch of rich people killing poor people. Basically the movie. And now they're leaning into it. And
I don't know why it was controversial in the first place.
I don't either, because they've made these movies before.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, but it's no big secret that money equals power within our society, and movies have always been kind of oftentimes have been a mirror version of our society, or been taken stuff directly from our society and made movies about it. We've seen all kind of political movies, whether it be like end of day and environmental movies.
Well, shit, documentaries by themselves.
Documentaries.
Yeah,
I mean, what's the name? John Frankenheimer, Manchurian Candidate. That's a political movie. 7 Days in May, political movie. I mean, they've been making these movies for decades. I don't know why this one was so controversial to begin with. I mean, they made The Most Dangerous Game, decades ago.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm glad that it's finally getting released, and I do want to check it out myself. It's an interesting cast. Wow, a lot of people in this movie that are people going to be very aware of.
But yeah, it's the movie I'm going to be seeing that week. I don't know what The Informer is. It's got some notable people in it. It's got Joel Kinnaman.
The Informer has Joel Kinnaman, who I think is an underrated actor who needs some type of breakout.
He is
role.
the Jai Courtney right now.
He is, and I think he's a better actor than Jai Courtney, to be honest with you. And I'm curious to see how his career is going to go, but he's kind of switching back and forth between TV and movies. Who else is in this movie? Ana de Armas is also in this film. Rosamund Pike, Clive Owen, Common. I mean, damn! I tell you, Ana de Armas really starting to be in a lot of movies.
But then we have My Spy, which Dave Bautista.
He's doing the rock route now.
Yeah,
he's doing like lighter movies, and he's trying to show.
He's just trying to show his range. He's
trying to show his range that he can do comedies, he can do action, he can do sci-fi, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so I get it. I'm sure it's not going to be good though.
Yeah, I'm not really interested.
I got a source telling that's seen it already that says that it's not that great. But
okay. Anything else from that weekend that you're looking at?
I'm not seeing anything that I know much about, so not really.
Lost Girls, I think, is a Netflix movie.
It's got Amy Ryan in it, which I like.
Ryan,
I like Amy Ryan, but I don't know.
Gabriel Byrne. It looks like a Netflix film.
Yeah. Well, we can just move on.
Yeah. Okay. Next week,
March 20th.
Here we go. Now
we have the great classic, next classic romantic movie.
I still believe, Steven. You know what? I still believe.
I still believe in love.
I don't know. I'm looking at this poster right now. It's got two young, attractive people staring longingly at one another. Was that one holding a guitar?
It's red. It's what's his name from what's the show on CW?
Oh my goodness, Riverdale?
Riverdale. It's Riverdale Kid.
Oh my goodness, it is him.
Yeah.
I think I've actually seen a trailer for this.
Yeah.
Britt Robertson's in it. KJ Apa is the guy you're talking about.
Oh, and look, the director is we have more brothers, the Irwin brothers.
Okay.
I've never heard of them, but we have more brothers.
Gary
Sinise is in this movie.
It looks like oh man.
Shania Twain is in this movie.
The true life story of Christian music star Jeremy Camp and his journey of love and loss that looks to prove there is always hope. Oh, Steven, I couldn't tell you how uninterested I am in this movie.
This is on the same level as Bloodshot for me.
This is my Bloodshot, Steven.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's
get on to something else.
Let's move on, yeah. A Quiet Place Part 2. I'm excited for this one. I do want to see this.
Yes. Did you see the trailer for this one?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I am very curious because I liked A Quiet Place. I really liked it a lot.
It was the quietest theater experience I've ever had.
Oh, mine was the opposite though.
Oh, sorry.
People kept talking.
Yeah.
About the whole damn
Mine
thing.
ended up being good. They knew the movie trained you to shut up, and it trained my crowd, so that was good. But But yeah, this one we have, John Krasinski does come back to direct the movie, which is the thing I'm excited about. If we didn't get him back involved, I probably would have not been so excited about this movie. But we have also Djimon Hounsou, who's joined the cast.
He's in everything.
Yeah, he's joined the cast. Cillian Murphy joins the cast. So that's, I'm interested to see how the world building continues in this story.
He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Everyone should go watch Peaky Blinders. But we get everyone back from the first film. Well, Emily Blunt, John Krasinski, Millicent Simmons, Noah Jupe. And it looks like both, from the trailer at least, that we're going to get some type of backstory about the family and the first days of this kind of post-apocalyptic world or post-alien invaded world or monster invaded world, but we're also getting a continuation of how the story ended from the first film, so it looks like it's going to be very comprehensive, and they're just expanding on this world because the first film is very what's what I'm looking for, like limited to just like that family, their situation at their
we're going to get a little wider scope,
which I'm very curious about to see what that world looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they got everybody back, that they didn't just make like a sequel with just John Krasinski producing.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about the other ones, but the last one in this month that really is curious to me is The Truth, which The Truth is Koreeda.
Yes, it is.
Hirokazu Koreeda's film. It's obviously limited release, but we have a great cast with Juliette Binoche and Ethan Hawke.
The great Catherine Deneuve is in it.
Yeah, this is Koreeda's first American film
that
he's doing. He last movie he did was Shoplifters, which came out last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Was fantastic, and I love the films I've seen of his are fantastic, and to see him go into American cinema, Ethan Hawke is somebody I think is vastly underrated too, and
he's the king of like independent movies now.
Yeah, his work with Linklater and he
doesn't do mainstream stuff anymore for the most part.
Every once in a while he will. He did Magnificent Seven, and
which I think is like his biggest movie he's done in forever.
Yeah. Every once in a while he'll do a genre picture. But it usually stays pretty low budget.
Right.
But then Juliette Binoche, of course, she's one of the best actresses ever.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. And Koreeda, man, he knows about how to get to the heart of things. I think I'm excited to see this, but we'll probably have to wait till near the end of the year to see it.
Yeah,
it's coming out in limited, so
unless it hits like an indie theater,
maybe it will come out in the summertime, maybe possibly. But typically with the movie coming out limited early in the year means you're probably not. It's going to come out at a festival, and then it might not be seen until the end of the year.
Right.
But I guess
let's move on to March 27th, and the big one for that week is Mulan, which everybody knows that based off of the episode we did last year about the films of 2019, that was the year of Disney live adaptation remakes of stuff they've done before. And now we've got another one in Mulan, but it looks like they actually tried something different this time and just didn't make shot-for-shot remakes of their previous films with some extra added stuff just to pump up the runtime. And this one looks exciting. Like, it looks like a period piece. It looks like some serious production value.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like they've taken away some of the Disney stuff from the original animated film from 1998, but I'm excited to see that because give me something different. If I want to see, just Mulan the way it came out, 22 years ago, I'd watch Mulan like I can do anytime I want to.
Yeah.
But they give me something more, and it looks really exciting.
Yeah, it looks like they're really taking, this movie lends itself to kind of a serious story. I mean, it's got very relevant, themes for today.
Yeah. So Mulan's always been a feminist-centric story.
Yeah. So I think that they're approaching this the right way, and I'm actually excited to see this adaptation, this remake.
So am I. So I guess we'll just move on to April 3rd.
Yeah.
April 3rd, the first Friday in April. There's a movie called The Lovebirds.
This is the one with Camille Nanjiani and SRA, and this is like to me it looks like Date Night but with higher stakes. I mean, it's like where they basically get mistaken for a murder, and they're out on a date and they get mistaken for a murder, and then they're kind of going on the run, and yeah, it looks like it could be fun. I mean, I do like Camille Nanjiani, and I do like SRA. She hasn't been in a lot of stuff yet, but I think this could be like a fun, go out with your significant other kind of movie, maybe, a fun date night movie, or maybe stay at home movie. But yeah.
Okay, sounds good. And the next, Steven.
Jesus.
It's happening.
It's happening finally.
They're doing it. They're doing it. Unless things change between now and April 3rd. We talked about this movie last year.
Yeah.
And I think people have been talking about this movie now for a long time. The New Mutants is finally getting its theatrical release. Now, Steven, I should have done a little bit of research on this. This movie was supposed to come out like 2 years ago. If
it's something like that, yeah. I mean, I think it had a more concrete release this time last year, and then it got pulled again when the Fox deal was kind of like basically put in stone, and they were like, well, we can't release this again.
Yeah, this movie's come out, had release dates set for it so many times.
Yeah.
So many times, and it just keeps getting pushed, and there's all kind of like
reshoots
stuff.
And
I've heard so many things that they've been doing reshoots, maybe not be doing reshoots. I mean, only thing I know is that I'm going to see this movie just to see what we're getting, because I have no idea what we're getting, because from what I heard, that first trailer that we saw, like, I don't know, forever ago, is not even indicative of what the movie actually is. But we've got a new trailer now, which I guess really sells the movie as what it actually is. So I mean, I have no idea how this is going to work. But I'm fascinated because, like, with reshoots with a young cast, are these people going to look age differently? Because I almost said Daisy Ridley, but Macy Williams, who was on Game of Thrones, they shot this years ago. So is she going, like, how, she's aged, of course, because, teenagers and young people age all the time. And I mean, how different is she going to look? How different are the other kids going to look? Anya Taylor-Joy doesn't look the same now as she did, when they started making this years ago. So who knows? Who really knows? But honestly, this movie I don't think has any consequence at all when it comes to the X-Men universe or anything like that.
No, they're just trying to see if they can make a buck off of it.
They got to. I mean, by this point,
they paid for it, so
they have no choice. They probably sunk in so much money to it. I mean, and now that Disney's on board, they probably want to make money off of it.
Yep.
So the New Mutants is finally out, and then of course, Steven, your most anticipated
movie. Oh, this is it right here. I don't need to see any more movies after this movie.
Peter Rabbit 2: The Runaway is in theaters. Here we go. I didn't see the first one, Steven.
I did. It was a waste of time.
And this is it's not an animated movie, a CGI.
It's the mixture, and I don't. We don't need to talk anymore. We're wasting so much time.
We're moving on.
Moving on to the next week. Yes.
April 10th. This is a big release. Big release. Kind of a surprising release for this franchise, and that is No Time to Die, the newest James Bond film starring Daniel Craig. And I'm surprised this movie's still sticking to this date, because didn't Daniel Craig have like an accident while making the movie, and they had to delay production on this? I don't like when I hear things like that, because that means this movie could have been rushed in post. But I've seen the trailer for it several times. They just released the new Bond song for it, done by Billie Eilish, which is a rather different Bond song than I think we've ever heard before. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it, Steven.
Yeah, I listened to some of it. It's fine.
A little slow. It's a little slow, and I'm curious how mellow is the tone of the movie going to be based off of the song.
I don't know. The beginning of the movie must be very somber for the song to be this way.
That somber.
I think that they just got her because she's so popular. That's the only reason.
But I'm like, she's only been popular like the last year or so.
Yeah, but she's still like the big thing. It's just like when they did Adele, she's like the biggest thing at the time.
And Adele was already gigantic by the time. Like
that seemed like a fat joke. I don't like that.
I know.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, of course not. But I'm just saying she was already she already was like multi-platinum, Grammy award winning by the time that she signed on. Billie Eilish has only been really popular and well known within the last year or so.
Yeah, but they play her goddamn music all the time, so
The thing is, I don't. I'm so untapped into modern young people music that I'm definitely feeling my age now. That I don't even care to keep up with it because I'm not really interested in it. But No Time to Die is a cool title. The trailer looks awesome. It's got to be better than Spectre for me. Steven.
I have a feeling Cary Fukunaga is not going to let us down. I think it's going to be a good last
director.
movie. The only other movie in this month that I think it's worth talking about for a second is Cutthroat City. This is from RZA is directing this movie.
Oh.
And the cast is pretty interesting. You got Wesley Snipes and Ethan Hawke in this movie. Terrence Howard. Mm-hmm. You also have some younger actors that I recognize, but you wouldn't really maybe know my name. I think this might be Forrest Whitaker's son, Denzel Whitaker. I think I've heard that his son acts it.
Look.
But this is a heist movie. And yeah, I mean, I need to watch this trailer. I didn't know. I've never heard of this until I looked it up, but it's got a pretty interesting cast. Yeah, I mean, it's directed by RZA.
Yeah, RZA. It's not the first time RZA has directed a movie.
No, he did Man in the Iron Fists, and
yes, I mean he's a cinephile.
Yeah,
RZA is a cinephile, from the Wu-Tang Clan, and he appears in like every Jim Jarmusch film.
Yeah.
He's friends with Jim Jarmusch. He's friends with Quentin Tarantino. That's interesting. I'm wondering how big of a release this film's going to get.
It's saying limited, so yeah, I don't know, but I'm definitely interested in it.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's move on to 17th.
The Secret Garden.
I don't know what the secret. I've never heard of this one.
Well, have you never remember the book? It's a literary adaptation.
Yeah, I don't remember this book.
The Secret Garden's gotten like several adaptations, I think, over the years.
Is this the same as Bridge to Terabithia?
No, it's like Secret Garden's like a classic, children's literature book. I remember it being around, when I was in elementary school. I mean, It's been around for a while. But who's directing this? No one I really. Mark Munden. No one I really know.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
There's a young actress in it. Colin Firth is in it. Curious. I know probably a lot of fans of the book are going to be interested in it. There is a trailer out there for anyone who's curious about it, but I never read the book. So basically the premise is an orphan girl discovers a magical garden hidden at her strict uncle's estate. It's one of those kind of films or books where like children escaping, their issues through fantasy worlds. I mean, we've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
But moving on from that, we have the Trolls World Tour.
Yeah,
Steven.
Moving on.
Oh man, I'm just looking at some of the.
Well, Antlers, I'm excited about. This Antlers is the Scott Cooper movie. This horror movie that's produced by Guillermo del Toro. It's got Kerry Russell in it. This looks interesting. This trailer I love. It looks pretty creepy. I mean, Scott Cooper, if you don't know Scott Cooper, he directed Crazy Heart, Out of the Furnace, Black Mass, Hostels was the last movie he did, the Western with Christian Bale. I think I love his visual style, and I love how he does these like middle America movies, like small towns, Western, kind of style. I think this looks pretty cool, so I'm in for this one.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm not seeing anything I really am noticing.
Yeah, I was looking at Martin Eden, but it's an Italian film.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with these other two movies.
Now, Promising Young Woman is the film with Carey Mulligan, where I believe this is the film where she is, like entrapping people. Did you see the trailer for this?
No, I haven't seen the trailer.
Let me look.
I don't think so. Actually, you know what? I think I did see this. Yeah, this looks interesting.
Let's see.
Yeah, she acts like she's gonna be a victim, and then she traps people.
Yes, like she'll pretend like she's passed out drunk, and then when men take advantage of her, she's like, "Oh, guess what?" It's the premise is a young woman traumatized by a tragic event in her past seeks out vengeance against those who cross her path. The film has Carey Mulligan, Bo Burnham, Laverne Cox, Clancy Brown, Alison Brie is in it, Molly Shannon, Connie Britton is in it. I really like Carey Mulligan as an actress.
Oh yeah.
And I know maybe some people don't like her, or some people don't find her as talented as some others, but I really like her as an actress. I think she's done some really great work. She was in An Education, Never Let Me Go, Shame. Even the film Suffragette I thought was really good. So so I want to point that film out. But that's about it for me on that week. The 24th only has 2 films released. Antebellum.
This is the one with Janelle Monáe.
Yes.
I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, a Jordan Peele produced movie. I'm not seeing anything about it here on this page, but I'm pretty sure it is. And it has that kind of same vibe where it's kind of like a social thriller. It looks interesting, definitely.
I'm not aware of it. But yeah, I'm looking at the cast right now. Janelle Monáe, Jenna Malone, Jack Houston, Kiersey Clemens, Gabori Sidibe. I'm trying to see if he produced it. But it doesn't. There's not really much on IMDb. There's not even anything on IMDb about it.
Okay,
at all when it comes to production companies. But I'm going back and forth between IMDb and then the site we're using to check the movie.
But it looks interesting by the trailer. I remember watching the trailer. We got to move a little bit quicker.
Let's move quicker.
We're into May now.
May. Well, I mean, right away, Black Widow. Nothing really needs to be said about.
Yeah, it's a Marvel movie. Typically, we check them out. I mean,
it's a Marvel movie that probably should have came out like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
For those of you interested in the Black Widow character, it's Scarlett Johansson. She's starring in it. It looks dope. To be honest, Florence Pugh is in the film. Her star is skyrocketing right now. Who else in the film? Rachel Weisz in the film. David Harbour's in the film, and it takes place in between Captain America: Civil War and Infinity War in the overall Marvel timeline. So kind of like that gap. So if anyone's interested in that, have at it. That movie they have to start rearing up the marketing campaign for it soon. Dream Horse, not sure what it is.
Yeah, May 8th. Greyhound is a Tom Hanks movie. World War II movie that he actually wrote. So I mean, it's got him and Elizabeth Shue in it. That's kind of interesting.
You had me at
Elizabeth Shue. Yeah, I got you. So yeah, I mean that's one to look out for. One that we've been just aching for. Legally Blonde 3.
I'm actually surprised this ever came out, just because it's been so many years since Legally Blonde 2 came out.
It says on the poster on IMDb that it's supposed to come out Valentine's Day 2020. We're already past that, bruh.
Yeah. I don't think it made that date. I don't think it made it. Another one that comes out that day is The Personal History of David Copperfield, which is limited.
Yeah,
but it has Dev Patel.
Yeah, Dev Patel's awesome, man.
Dev Patel is in the film, and it's a period film with Dev Patel, and I just heard about it the other day, because another of the film that he's in dropped a trailer, and I'm like, oh, that looked really awesome. Hopefully we get to that on here somewhere. The movie Run, I have no idea anything about.
Yeah, I think we can move on to May 15th.
Yes, May 15th. Scoob, which is it's like an animated origin story of Scooby-Doo and the gang. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, basically.
Man, it's 2020 and they're still minding the Scooby-Doo franchise.
Shit. God damn it. Okay, Spiral, from the Book of Saw. Okay, this is the secret, not really secret anymore, but secret Saw movie. From the Saw franchise.
With Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah. I would have never guessed that they would have been in a Saw movie in 2020.
Yeah.
But I guess that's where we are. Yeah, I always thought it was. Yeah, it's not directed by Chris Rock, but he looks like the star of it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, I jumped ship with this franchise a long time ago. Like, I think I jumped ship after like the fifth or sixth movie, and I've never really gone back to it. But if you're a fan of the franchise, you're definitely interested in this.
And so the last one in that month, The Woman in the Window, this is basically a Hitchcock movie.
Yes.
It like a Rear Window, where she's this, she's a woman that has, she's agoraphobic, and she won't go outside, and she has a neighbor that she actually lets in, and she gets to know, and then she looks across and thinks she sees this woman's husband kill her, and then it becomes this big mystery thing.
It's Rear Window, Stephen.
Yeah, it's Rear Window. I mean, it's Disturbia.
With a great cast. I mean, Amy Adams, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Gary Oldman, Julianne Moore, Anthony Mackie, Wyatt Russell, Brian Tyree Henry. Yeah.
I think it looks pretty cool. I mean, I know
it's directed by Joe Wright.
Oh, I love Joe Wright. I like Joe Wright.
He's a good director. I mean, Pan isn't a great movie, but
he hasn't made great movies all the time, but he's always got an interesting visual flair to him. Right. I think
he's a competent director.
I think Atonement's his best movie still.
No, I wouldn't disagree with you. But next May 22nd, Stephen, I know you've been dying for this.
Oh, this is it right here, man.
Fast and Furious 9. Stephen, tell me how much you want to see this movie.
Look, my idea is to watch all the Fast and Furious movies up until the 9th one, then watch all the Police Academy movies, which is more than 9. And then
why would you be doing that?
Police Academy beat you. Sorry. I don't need to watch any more Fast and Furious. Yeah, who cares about this movie?
This movie's going to make $1 billion.
Probably, and I don't care.
And we're going to be like, how did that happen? And we're like,
and we're going to just go on with our lives. Yeah.
It happens. I mean, this franchise is just, man.
There's a certain amount of enjoyment out of how dumb the movie is.
It's gotten to the point where it's really it's reached a point of ridiculousness that you just tune in to see what's going to happen next.
I guess I just get sick of them, using the same shit over again, bringing people back from the dead. Apparently, I just this. Charlize Theron's got a weird haircut in this movie.
She had a weird one in the last one.
And now John Cena's his brother that we've never heard of before.
The storyline, the character relationship.
He cares so much. Vin Diesel cares so much about family. He never told us he had a brother.
Oh yeah, because to him, family's more than blood. I don't know. This franchise needs to continue because Vin Diesel needs the money.
He needs the money. Apparently,
this is the only thing that's keeping him financially
keeping him not being bored. I guess.
I guess so. I mean, I can't say I love the franchise, but I don't hate it. But I find the film just like mind-numbingly entertaining. My late uncle, he had this thing like brain candy, where these movies are just like brain candy. They're just sugary nonsense. That's kind of what Fast and Furious 9 is. I don't know if
I'd call it brain candy. I'd call it like brain cancer. But
moving on to something, I guess, that makes you more happier. SpongeBob is getting another movie.
Sure. I mean, I didn't see the other one, so I can't.
Neither did I.
But sure, kids are gonna love it.
Yeah, SpongeBob is still in the zeitgeist of people's lives.
Yeah,
it's one of those children's things that just keeps like transitioning from generation to generation, which I guess is kind of nice to see.
Yeah,
I mean, every time I go on the internet now, I basically see another SpongeBob meme or something. So let's move on to May 29th. We're getting Artemis Fowl.
It's finally coming out.
Book adaptation.
I think it was supposed to come out at the end of last year, and then it got pushed.
I remember seeing trailers for it last year.
Yeah. And
then, this is something I think that's been, I want to say, long in development, because it's been a popular book series for a long time. It's being put out by Disney.
Yeah.
Which Disney, I mean, I'm looking at the poster now. It says August 9th.
Yeah.
That's not the right date. Was it supposed to be August 9th last year?
Yeah.
And they pushed it like that far? Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow. Okay. So yeah, it's a popular book series. That's finally getting an adaptation. It's like a young adult book series.
Yeah.
Like teenage stuff. Josh Gad's in this film. Judi Dench. Darius, I don't know much about the story. I didn't read these books when I was a kid.
I I couldn't tell you anything about it.
Yeah. So, but the next film,
But the next one I'm interested in.
The Green Knight.
Did you see the trailer for this?
Yes, I did. Which is being put out by A24. This is the other Dev Patel film that I was.
I'm excited for
referencing.
This looks fucking.
This looks right up my alley.
This looks like to be this year's Lighthouse.
Yes, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yes.
The Green Knight, like I said, starring Dev Patel, being distributed by A24, which at this point, I posted a tweet the other day that actually, when I shared the trailer, that when it comes to A24, I'll watch anything they put their name on at this point. It's a fantasy retelling of the medieval story of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and Dev Patel plays Sir Gawain. Alicia Vikander's in the film. Joel Edgerton is in the film. Man, this looks like art house medieval craziness. This is directed by David Lowery.
Oh, this is a ghost story. Yeah.
A ghost story, and he directed
Old Man and the Gun.
The Old Man and the Gun. Ain't Them Body Saints, Pete's Dragon.
He's a good director,
which really doesn't fit into that filmography.
No, he's a little all over the place, but I like his filmography. I don't love all them movies. I love A Ghost Story. That's probably my favorite. But yeah, he's a good director.
Yeah, so I very, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Yeah, Irresistible. It's got Steve Carell, and it's directed by Jon Stewart.
Yes, the former Daily Show host.
Yeah.
Topher Grace is in the film. Chris Cooper's in the film. Natasha Lyonne, Mackenzie Davis. This is an interesting film. Looks like
it's a limited release, so I don't know.
I don't know much about the.
I'm assuming it's probably going to be political. It's probably going to be a comedy.
That's why I said like political satire or something like that.
It's small town politics.
Yeah, I love Steve Carell, so I'll check it out eventually. Yeah, it's a Democrat strategist helps a retired veteran run for mayor in a small conservative Midwest town. Interesting.
Okay.
All right, moving on now. Moving on to June.
Wonder Woman 1984.
June 5th, Wonder Woman 1984. I saw the trailer for this before I saw Birds of Prey, and I almost got up and started cheering. But I thought it would have been a little bit weird if someone just randomly did that. I'm a big fan of Wonder Woman and DC Comics characters in general, so I've been wanting this since the other Wonder Woman ended. Like when the screen went to black, I'm like, give me my sequel now. This movie was pushed back because it was supposed to come out last December originally, I think.
A little too crowded. November. A little too crowded.
And it just too crowded, and they pushed it like 6 months or so. And I mean, some Wonder Woman. This is June is when the last one came out, so they figured since that one made so much money and success, try to replicate it. I mean, that's kind of sound reasoning. But yeah, I've seen the trailers for this many times. They have to start ramping up, I think, more marketing for it because it's a couple months away. But yeah, I'm gonna see it.
Yeah, I'll see it. I'm not excited for it, but I'll see it.
Right. But next week is Candyman, which is produced by Jordan Peele.
Yeah. This is supposed to be like a continuation, not a remake. I don't think a spiritual sequel to the original Candyman. Tony Todd is returning.
Tony Todd is returning. The film was directed by Nia DaCosta, who I'm not sure what else she has directed. She directed the movie Little Woods, which came out in 2018. Little Woods is it's actually a movie I think was something I saw last year. That movie starred Tessa Thompson, and it was and Lily James. It was a small indie film. I really like that film, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. And Candyman is, I only saw the original Candyman film I think last year for the first time. Yeah, it's actually really good. Definitely holds up. Yeah, I want to see. I'm curious when they're gonna drop a trailer for this because we've heard nothing about it.
Yeah, I know. I've heard of it. February. I know it was filming, but I haven't heard anything since. So it's probably still getting worked on. But it's a smaller movie. Probably
they gotta drop something soon.
Yeah, but going into the June 19th, The King of Staten Island is actually Judd Apatow's first movie in a while.
Wow.
It's apparently semi autobiographical comedy drama about Pete Davidson growing up in Staten Island.
I heard about this.
Yeah. I mean, look, Judd Apatow makes a certain type of comedy. They're typically about some kind of juvenile lead character who has to grow up. Typically starring Seth Rogen. But in this one,
we
got Pete Davidson. You got Marissa Tomei, you got Steve Buscemi. It's a pretty good cast. I mean, his daughters are in the movie.
This is an interesting cast.
I like Judd Apatow movies. I'm probably going to be too long, I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to be like 3 hours long because his movies are always like 2.5 hours long, way too long for comedies.
I agree with you. I'm curious to see because I still haven't watched his last one that he did. This is 40.
That wasn't his last one. His last
one
was the one he did with what's her name, the comedian, the one that had
John
Cena
Schumer
in it.
Film? Yeah, Amy Schumer. And,
Amy Schumer. That was the last one he did.
Was it?
Pretty sure.
I didn't even think you are right. Yeah, the one with Bill Hader. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Trainwreck.
Trainwreck. Yeah, that was the last one he did. And that was okay. But yeah, I mean, I remember seeing a quote from him, from Judd Apatow. He said, the reason he hadn't really made movies a lot is because he just didn't feel like he had anything else to say. And I guess he's found something new to say. I don't know. I didn't know he had anything to say before because his movies are all pretty juvenile.
The one that stands up the most, the one that I think a lot of people revisit is 40-Year-Old Virgin with Steve Carell.
Sure. 40-Year-Old Virgin's
that
great.
really launched Steve Carell's career.
I mean, I think Knocked Up is good.
Yeah.
I would love to get in a room with him to pitch him Knocked Up 2,
nice.
Where
you could never get Katherine Heigl back to do it.
No, this is my idea. It's Jason, now it's about Jason Segel's character.
Oh.
Who was in that movie that was kind of like a flirt, and he knocks up 2 women at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And so Knocked Up 2.
I get it.
You get it now?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
so geez. Yeah, I want that movie. But I do like I do have an affinity for funny people. I like that movie with Adam Sandler, where he basically plays himself.
Yes, he does.
And Seth Rogen plays kind of like somebody that helps him as he's dealing with a rare blood disease illness, apparently, that Adam Sandler has in the movie. But yeah, it's kind of a personal favorite. Once again, way too long for a comedy. It's like 2.5 hours long.
Right.
But
right, well,
I like Judd Apatow.
The next one is Pixar's Soul, which once again they're putting Pixar right in the title, and it kind of bothers me.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I've heard like very good things about. I think
this looks interesting too. It kind of gives me the vibes of Inside Out.
Yes,
which is good. And it just looks like a different. It's them kind of straying out, doing some more. Whenever the thing about a Pixar movie is it typically has some good thematic stuff in there. Typically, maybe not all of them, but like
it looks like one of their more interesting conceptual films.
Yeah, I mean, it's got Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey,
Questlove.
Yeah.
A musician who has lost his passion for music is transported out of his body and must find his way back with the help of an infant soul learning about herself.
Yeah,
that's a pretty deep stuff. That's when Pixar's at its best, when it's hitting, really human themes, things that are central to humanity. Like you said, with Inside Out, dealing with emotion and growing up and things like that. That's when they're really at their universal best.
Yeah.
But moving on there, we're on to
In the Heights.
June 26th, In the Heights, which is an adaptation of a musical theatrical. What am I saying here? A musical, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's you got John M. Chu, who's directing this from Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes.
This is one of Lin-Manuel Miranda's, I guess, musicals. This is something he wrote. And yeah, I think it looks good. I love a good musical. It's got the Latin culture.
Oh yeah, it delves into the Latinx culture and stuff like that. It looks very vibrant, very energetic.
Yeah.
The cast looks really, really, really good.
I could see this being a movie that makes its way into the Oscars, possibly, unless.
Oh, probably for definitely the music and probably songs
unless
and
another
like that.
musical decides to take the spotlight. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it's a Broadway musical. Yeah, a feature version of the Broadway musical in which a bodega owner has mixed feelings about closing his store and retiring to the Dominican Republic after inheriting his grandmother's fortune.
Yeah.
Like you said, John M. Chu. I'm fascinated.
Yeah, I'm down for it. Yeah, I like a good musical. Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun Maverick. Now, Steven, how big of a fan are you of Top Gun?
I'm not a huge fan. I mean, it's okay. It's not my favorite.
It's one of those movies where if you grew up in that era and watched it, I think you're a bigger fan than past generations of it. Because it's good. I dig it.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean,
but it's not like Tom Cruise's best. I mean,
no. It's a little on the corny side, a little cheesy, but
it's got that 80s, corniness to it. You know what I mean? That 80s vibe that is only works in the 80s.
The soundtrack is famous.
Oh yeah. Danger Zone, Steven.
Yeah.
How would it Danger Zone?
Danger Zone, yeah. Danger Zone.
I like the idea that they're revisiting it. I'm curious to see what the plot's going to be. I mean, Tom Cruise is a great actor, and he doesn't really revisit a lot of his earlier stuff unless it's Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And I heard that this movie was in production, or thought about being in production or being made for many years. Before Tony Scott died, they were talking about doing it.
Yeah. Well, they got Val Kilmer back. They got Miles Teller, Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm, Glenn Powell. Ed Harris is in this. I mean, it's a pretty good cast.
What's his name is playing
Goose's son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miles Teller's playing Goose's son.
Miles Teller.
Yeah.
Miles Teller needs not a win right now, but he needs something to get him back on the board.
He needs something because I think personally
kind of disappearing.
He's hurt. He's being hurt because I don't think people want to work with him. I've heard he's a little bit.
I've heard he's kind of not good to work with. That's what I've heard.
But
is that what you're going to say?
He's difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, difficult to work with.
But let's go ahead and move on.
July 3rd,
Free
right
Guy,
before the 4th of July.
Weird,
Free Guy.
Yeah.
Which is
Ryan Reynolds in a video game, and he becomes self-aware and then starts doing something his programming doesn't have him do, and then blah blah blah.
Kind of a fun concept.
Sure.
The concept looks good on paper. Let's see how it's executed.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see it. I mean, the trailers come out and it looks fun, but I don't know. That's a prime release date, July 3rd, right before 4th of July weekend, or that is 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
It's a Friday. I'm curious, but the next one, Minions: The Rise of Gru, they're still mining that.
They're still making them movies.
Despicable Me franchise. I mean, I've seen the trailer for this too many times because it keeps floating around on every streaming platform, and I think they play during the ads on YouTube now. So I've seen that. I like the franchise. I like the Minions. I'm not overly.
I don't
in love
like
with
the
them.
Minions. I'm done.
Oh, you
with
don't
them.
like them?
I don't.
They're really they're pushing those Minions really hard on us.
Maybe I'm just the curmudgeon old man. I don't. They're annoying.
I dig it. I like they're fun and stuff, but when they did a whole Minions movie,
the Minions, you don't need a whole movie out of them.
I don't know why they're calling this Minions: The Rise of Gru and not Despicable Me: The Rise of Gru. I guess this is a prequel.
I guess I don't.
Well, I know it's a prequel. I mean, I've seen the trailers, so it's a young Gru like when he meets the Minions and stuff, and when he's just starting out, like he goes in I don't know, evil person's school or something. I don't know.
We're talking about this way too much.
We are talking about next one, Ghostbusters. Next one, July 10th, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Steven, when you encounter ghosts like we often do, who do you call?
I usually call my fiance because I'm scared. No. I'll call the Ghostbusters. I'll
if you have to call a professional,
They are working out of New York, so they're going to take a while.
Oh yeah, they're gonna, but they'll get to you eventually, I guess.
I guess they invested in a jet or something.
I know. Damn. I ain't afraid of no ghost, Steven. But
I get it. It's got Paul Rudd in it.
Yes, it does.
Finn Wolfhard. You got some noticeable people. You got Bill Murray coming back. Annie Potts coming back. You got Sigourney Weaver, Dan Aykroyd. The whole family's coming back.
Yeah, Joe Reitman is directing the movie. His father famously directed the first two.
You mean Jason
Wright. Why did I say Joe Reitman?
I don't know.
crazy. I'm off my game. Because we've been doing this for so long. Things are just
get delirious.
bouncing together. Jason Reitman, who honestly he's a really good director, but I think the last few movies haven't been particularly great. I think.
Well, this is kind of his first big mainstream movie.
This is the first big movie that I think he's done for the most part.
Most of his movies are in the indie realm, yeah.
Yeah, they're in the indie realm, but he did. Up in the Air is probably my favorite from him. Juno's. I like Juno. I think more than a lot of people.
Thank You for Smoking's underrated.
Yeah, I really liked Tully, and I know that was a movie that came out a few years ago with Charlize Theron. I really liked Tully. The Front Runner was okay. Came out the same year, but some of his other films that he did, like Young Adult, I liked. Labor Day is okay. Men, Women, and Children I never saw.
Men, Women, and Children's probably his least. Men, Women, and Children and Labor Day are probably the lower ends of his stuff, I think.
I would say I wouldn't disagree with you on that. Yeah. But this is, like you said, his biggest thing, and the big thing about this film is it's basically giving people what they've been wanting forever, and what the other film done by Paul Feig didn't give them.
Yeah, it's bringing not all forgetting about the original films.
Taking place within the original world, and it's basically a sequel to the stuff we already know. Because we talked about this when we talked about Star Wars endlessly and whatnot. People want more of what they already like versus anything new of what they already know of. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's part of why the other film failed.
They want their nostalgia high.
They want it. They want to just inject it into their veins. Yeah. They need it. They need it, Steven.
This is basically Stranger Things 2.0.
That being said, this film does look interesting.
I definitely am in for it.
I'll be seeing. I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. I've been a Ghostbusters fan my whole life. When I was a little kid, I watched the movies. I watched the animated series, which I have on DVD. I mean, I even watched the new Ghostbusters, whatever show that they did.
Oh yeah, I was a Ghostbuster for Halloween. Yeah,
my goodness, I had the Ghostbuster Firehouse. I had the Ecto-1 toy and all that stuff. Still in the closet somewhere. I loved Ghostbusters. Still do. So I'm definitely gonna see this movie.
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh yes.
Without a doubt. The next movie, probably not so much, Steven.
Well, look, Purge 5. I don't know. We don't really know anything about it yet. I mean,
they don't even have a title yet.
Yeah, we don't really know it, so we can't really talk about it. I mean, I like the Purge movies they're watchable. They've gotten steadily worse. But I mean, I'll see it. I mean,
I think I've seen them all. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them all. I don't hate any of them. They're all. I mean, like I said, they've all. I think the second one's the best one.
Yeah.
Then the first one, and then the other two are.
The thing is, with Purge Election Year, which was their third film, they kind of ended the whole storyline. So it's like what? Now they're just doing they have
a TV show. And they have a TV show.
Yeah, and they have a TV show too.
I don't know if it got canceled or not, but they have a show.
That's true, but on. So if anyone's a fan of the Purge series, that's coming out, the Purge 5, July 10th. But July 17th is another, I guess,
it's just big
TV
show. Deal.
I mean, Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers. I mean, I don't really watch it but
Bob's Burgers is a fantastic animated
I've
series.
seen some of it. I love it's pretty funny, but
it's really funny and irreverent comedy. But for those of you who want to see that, that's coming out, and I'm curious to see what a big budget on screen version of the show is, because the show is definitely made for television. It's not like it's kind of like The Simpsons when the Simpsons movie came out.
Look at the Simpsons movie,
and then afterwards, the creators were like, "Yeah, we're never doing that again," just because I guess it was just too much work or something like that. But the biggest movie, and Stephen, probably one of my most anticipated movies of the year is
Tenet.
Tenet.
From Christopher Nolan.
We
have
Steven, I have no idea what this movie's about.
Well, we don't really know anything about the plot, which is good. Robert Pattinson, John David Washington, Elizabeth Debicki, Kenneth Branagh, Michael Caine. Great cast as usual. Aaron Taylor-Joy. Aaron Taylor-Joy. I just put two people together. Aaron Taylor-Johnson. Yeah, and it's another. It looks like weird time reversal shit going on. I mean, with Christopher Nolan, we're already in.
Yeah. So the synopsis on IMDb says an action epic revolving around international espionage, time travel, and evolution. Possibly about a man trying to prevent World War III through time travel and rebirth. Holy shit. I can't wait for this movie.
Yes.
Like, I wish I could freeze myself in carbonite and then somebody would unfreeze me like a couple of days before.
It's only a few months, man. God.
I know. So, like, freeze me out like a couple of days before so I could wake up to see this movie. I actually finally saw this trailer on the big screen before I saw Birds of Prey, and I was like, yeah, I can't wait for this. Steven, you and I both are gigantic Christopher Nolan fans. We've never been shy about that. So I can't wait for this movie.
Most definitely.
July 24th is Jungle Cruise, which is The Rock and Emily Blunt.
Yes.
And it's a movie version of the Disney ride?
Disney turning one of their rides into a movie again.
They did it with Pirates of the Caribbean.
They did it with Tomorrowland. To
great success. Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
With less success. It's The Rock. It's a summer movie.
I don't care about it. I care about this other movie that comes out that week.
I dig The Rock. I like The Rock. I don't know if I'm going to go rush out to see this,
but I love Emily Blunt.
Like with the passion.
This is a movie I'll watch when it's on Netflix or something.
Okay, but the next movie,
Disney Plus, I guess.
With the next movie, which is a limited release, and that is The French Dispatch, which is the newest film by Wes Anderson. And for those of you who know who Wes Anderson is, he's kind of big in the indie world.
This might be one of the greatest casts ever.
It's a gigantic cast.
Tilda Swinton, Frances McDormand, Bill Murray, Jeffrey Wright, Adrian Brody, Benicio del Toro, Owen Wilson, Timothy Chalamet. I mean, Christoph Waltz,
Lea Seydoux, Elizabeth Moss.
I mean, Jesus.
Rupert Friend, Adrian Brody.
It's crazy.
Well, the trailer for this just dropped recently, and I kind of don't even know what this movie's about. But it's Wes Anderson, so I'll probably end up seeing it because I've seen all of his other films.
Yeah.
I think I own all of his other films.
You can tell by the trailer, visual style is all there. It's the same stuff. But the thing about this movie, it feels like it has a little bit more of a scope to it than a lot of his other movies. Like I feel like there's more, a bigger a lot more extras and a lot more things going on in the movie than usual.
That both scares me and delights me because this looks like Wes Anderson unhinged.
Yeah.
And Wes Anderson can be a very wild director in terms of his style because it's so quirky. Yeah. And if his quirkiness is just too much for people, it puts people off. Like, I know there are a lot of people who do not like Wes Anderson, just can't get into his style, which is understandable because his style is very unique, very particular, and there's really no one else who has ever done his style quite the way he does it. And it puts a lot of people off. But this looks like his style and his film techniques dialed up to like 11. Yeah. Like, it looks crazy wild. I'm curious. I really want to see this movie. The only one of his films that I don't have is Isle of Dogs, and I really liked Isle of Dogs, and I'm kind of hoping that that's going to get a Criterion release.
It will
soon.
It will. It won't be soon.
But I hate that I don't have it. Like, that's the one of his films I don't own.
Yeah.
But that's just me being a collector.
It's hurting you because you're waiting on it.
It's getting me. It's getting me. But
on the 31st, I don't know what Bob Star, and I think it's something with. It's a comedy, I think, with Kristen Wiig. I don't know anything about it. But I do know what Morbius is.
Yes.
Which is
about comic book. It's the comic book movie about the Spider-Man villain, Morbius, the living vampire, I think.
Played by Jared Leto.
Now, this trailer looks ridiculously interesting. Because, one, I don't think a lot of people were expecting much from this movie. And two, there was a stinger at the end of that trailer that it's like, wait a minute, what? Is this part of this whole fabric? Yeah, so they're sticking it at the end of July, which I think is an appropriate time. I would have even put it in August. Yeah. Like, I would have even stuck it that far into the thing. But the thing is, it's got that Spider-Man attachment to it loosely, so that's gonna get people to go see it the same way people went to see Venom.
Yeah.
Venom wasn't a great movie, but it made a shit ton of money because it had the connection to Spider-Man. And I know Morbius isn't as big of a character as Venom is in terms of popularity and just people knowing who he is, even if they're not fans of Spider-Man. But I think this could get people into theaters. Yeah. It's directed by Daniel Espinosa, who did the movie Child 44, who did the movie Safe House. That's about all that I've seen from him. And he had some connection to... he directed the movie Life. Remember that movie?
Yeah, the one with Jake Gyllenhaal, the movie that could have been a Venom prequel.
Yes, it could have. Yes, it could have.
The symbiote coming to Earth. Yeah, I mean, he was actually in, I think, talks to do James Bond. Or maybe no, I'm thinking of Mackenzie.
Okay.
I'm thinking of somebody else. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably see it. You know me, I don't get too interested in these movies anymore.
Right. We'll move on. Kicking into high gear.
I don't know about Empty Man, but Infinite's Anton Fuqua's next movie.
Okay, I'll see it.
Yeah, it's got Mark Wahlberg, Dylan O'Brien, Chiwetel Ejiofor. You know, it's got a decent cast. A man discovers his hallucinations are actually visions from a past life.
That's an interesting concept.
Maybe. It's Mark Wahlberg. He's hit or miss.
Yeah. When you stand,
I do like Anton Fuqua movies, but it's hit or miss, man. I mean,
yeah. To be honest, Mark Wahlberg's hit or miss right now. If it was anyone else in the lead, it'd be more of a lock for me. But I really like Anton Fuqua as a director.
Yeah.
But moving on to August 14th, we have Escape Room 2 because first one was so well beloved. Honestly, Steven, I don't care.
Yeah, Malignant is James Wan's next movie.
Okay,
that's worth thinking.
I do care about.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Okay, I don't know if it's a horror or not. It is horror. I'm not sure much about it. It's not giving me much on it.
Yeah, there's no synopsis for this yet. There's just a release date and barely a cast.
They're probably filming it now. I'm sure it's.
Yeah, that's my guess. Yeah. I'm guessing he's going to go straight from this to doing Aquaman 2.
Probably.
That would be this is a kind of a stopgap between this and Aquaman 2, just because I know that movie's definitely going to be happening. But I really like James Wan as a director. I think he's immensely talented. He made an Aquaman movie that is so damn entertaining. Yeah. It's crazy what he did with that movie. Yeah. So the next movie is Nobody, which I don't know.
Nobody knows anything about.
Nobody knows anything about.
And I also the one and only Ivan. I'm not here. It's got a good cast, but I don't really know anything about it. It's got Sam Rockwell, Helen Mirren, Angelina Jolie, Bryan Cranston, Danny DeVito. I mean, it's got a good cast, but I'm not sure too much about it.
But August 21st is a much anticipated sequel to a franchise that hasn't had a movie in 30 years or so.
Our friend Robert Jones is going to be super excited about this.
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yeah.
Here we go. Keanu Reeves and why can't I remember his name?
You're talking about the other actor?
Yeah, the other actor. Alex Winter.
Yeah.
Alex Winter, yeah. I almost said Edgar Winter, but that was not the same person. That's why I delayed for so long. Once again, they're back in the role of Bill and Ted, which was really a early popular role for Keanu Reeves. A lot of people still see Keanu Reeves as just the character from those movies, as just Ted. And I'm like, he's a lot more than that now. I mean, that was 30 years ago, but this cast is fascinating. I mean, Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter.
Death is coming back.
Yeah, William Sadler as Death is coming back.
That's pretty cool.
And you've got Jillian Bell is in the film, Kristen Schaal is in the film, Samara Weaving. Yeah, fascinating film. I'm hoping people go and see this. I'm hoping people revisit those early films. They are very much a part of their time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Late 80s, early 90s. But I like the first one a lot more than the second one, if I'm being honest with you, Steven.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, Yeah.
Now it's curious because they're middle-aged dads now, and it's like how do these people die? Like how do these two people become?
I just
parents?
hope it doesn't end up being like Zoolander 2. That's all I can
Oh no, that or Dumb and Dumber 2.
Yeah, them are some
That's
bad
another one.
sequels that came way too late. But another movie that comes out there's a movie coming out called Let Him Go, and this is actually Kevin Costner movie with Diane Lane, and it's about a retired sheriff and his wife grieving over the death of their son, set out to find their only grandson. I love Kevin Costner. I love Diane Lane. This could be a decent little drama, you know. It's limited, but
I'm curious. But let's move on to next week because we're going to be here till tomorrow at this point.
Yes.
August 28th
this is a very important sequel.
Oh, it's the most important one I've ever seen in my life. This is The Godfather Part 2.
If you remember a couple years ago, The Hitman's Bodyguard came out.
Yes.
So now you're going to get The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Damn, Steven. What a genius title.
Shoot.
Genius. My goodness. I can't believe they
how
long did it take them to figure out that title?
We're adding Antonio Banderas to this cast. We already have Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson coming back, but we get Antonio Banderas, Selma Hayek's coming back. We got Morgan Freeman in this movie, Frank Grillo, Richard E. Grant's in this movie.
Nice.
What?
I know. He liked one of my tweets like a week or two ago.
Really?
I got really excited.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
didn't see the first
movie
one.
Was fun. It was fun. It reminded me somewhat of some like 90s action movies. So yeah, I'd probably be interested in seeing it. Going into September, one of the greatest directors ever, Paul W.S. Anderson.
Oh.
Has got a new movie with Mila Djokovic. Oh, who knew? His wife.
You don't say, Steven.
Yeah.
Now, this is not.
This is
another Resident Evil movie.
This is not another. Whatchamacallit? Resident Evil. This is called Monster Hunter.
I heard they're rebooting that franchise, and I'm like, they just had a new movie.
But this is also an adaptation of a video game.
Oh.
It's when Lieutenant Artemis and her loyal soldiers are transported to a new world. They engage in a desperate battle for survival against enormous enemies with incredible powers. Feature film based on the video game by Capcom.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm interested because talk about a genre that doesn't have much success, and that's the video game adaptation subgenre. It's an interesting cast. Mila Jovovich, Megan Good, Ron Perlman, Tony Jaa's in the film, T.I.'s in the film.
Yeah.
The movie was made for $60 million, so I don't know. I'm assuming a lot of that's it's gonna be a CGI heavy movie, and I don't know if $60 million you're gonna get a lot of quality CGI out of for a video game movie.
Yeah.
Where everything has got to be digital. I'm very curious. I don't know anything about the video game franchise, so I couldn't tell you what the quality is of the game.
Unhinged, Russell Crowe. It's a psychological thriller that takes something we've all experienced, road rage, to an unpredictable and terrifying conclusion.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't gotten quite to that point yet, but road rage.
So is this going to be like a new version of Falling Down or something?
Oh yeah, with Michael Douglas.
Yeah, maybe a more serious version of that.
Move on September 11th.
Yeah,
and
The Conjuring's next movie.
The Conjuring, the devil made me do it. You know what, Steven? Every time I do something bad, the devil made me do it.
That's what I say.
You know what I mean? That's what I say. It's just
just
that gets me off every time.
Yeah, it gets me. A cop stops me for speeding. I'm like, look, the devil made me do it.
Devil made me do it.
Yeah.
But this is actually The Conjuring 3. If you're really paying attention at home, this film is not directed by James Wan, who had directed the other two. This is directed by Michael Chaves, and this film, brings back Vera Farmiga as Lorraine Warren, Patrick Wilson as Ed Warren, and we're back on another case, I assume.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed because
unknown.
I've heard that this doesn't have the plot that I was hoping for, which was that they were going to be investigating something to do with werewolves. And apparently that's not happening now.
Well, it does say plot unknown just as third installment of the Conjuring franchise.
Yeah, I heard rumors that there was going to be something to do with werewolves and apparently they scrapped that, so I'm a little upset. But I enjoyed the Conjuring movies, not all the other ones.
The spin-offs, they vary in quality.
yeah, very, very.
I'll say that, like the first Annabelle, not great. The second Annabelle Creation is actually much better. But I think I watched The Nun, and I was just like, I'm not a fan of this.
Who cares?
And I haven't seen The Curse of La Lorna, and there must have been another one in there somewhere.
Nah, I think that's it.
Sure. Okay. I can't keep track.
I don't really know. I just want to move on from this.
Yes, but I really like the Conjuring and the Conjuring 2 are really good. Like James, part of that has to do with the fact that James Wan's a really good director.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know how this is going to go with a different director at the helm. I don't know if it's still going to be just as good. That remains to be seen. Interesting that it's September 11th release, and they're not just waiting for October.
Yeah.
But the next one, day is September 18th, and we're having the King's Man release. This got pushed back forever.
Yeah.
Not forever, but it got pushed back like 6 months or so.
I don't know if it's because they don't have... I don't know if it's just they feel like it's going to do better in a different month, or they don't have any, confidence in it. I don't know, but this is Matthew Vaughn coming back to do a prequel of the Kingsman franchise, where I guess we get the beginnings of the Kingsman Secret Service, group. You got Ray Fiennes coming to play the lead in this. Matthew Good, Charles Dance is in this. I mean,
Aaron Taylor Johnson,
Daniel Bruhl. Aaron Taylor Johnson's not in this.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I'm looking on IMDb right now.
I'm not seeing him in this cast.
I see Gemma Arterton, Ray Fiennes, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Matthew Good, Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, mine doesn't have Aaron Taylor Johnson in the cast.
Oh, interesting. But I don't know why we're gonna get hung up on that. But
yeah, I don't care.
I mean, I see Jimon Hounsou again, and I believe that because he's in every movie now apparently. Sure. But yeah, this movie was supposed to come out a while ago, and it's now got pushed to September of this year. I was disappointed with the second one. I didn't straight up hate it, but it's not as good as the first film. Felt so fresh and so good. You know what I mean? Like it felt like a comic book version of James Bond. Like it took all the hokiness and kind of really made it, made it fresh and interesting and whatnot. And the second film kind of retreaded a lot and just went in really uninteresting territories, and they had a lot of cliche territories. I don't know how much more they can get out of this franchise, to be honest with you, Steven. Because I didn't think the second one did very well at the box office in terms of what they were expecting it to. And I don't know if this one's going to do much better sitting in September. I mean, I don't think that really helps it a lot, because I'm not sure what the budget of this film is, but these are not low-budgeted films, specifically with the action sequences and whatnot. Matthew Vaughn is coming back as the director, so at least we get some type of consistency there. And Matthew Vaughn, I think, is a really good and talented director, and I just kind of want to see him do something else other than this.
Yeah, I don't know. He's stuck on this franchise.
And these are these are comic book adaptations, so he's kind of still in that world.
Yeah,
maybe he'll move on to do other properties somewhere. I don't know, but yeah, I'm okay with the franchise right now. I'll see it, but I'm not looking really forward to it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Without Remorse, which is next movie coming out that day, it's a Tom Clancy film. You got Michael B. Jordan in here playing John Clark, a Navy SEAL, goes on the path to avenge his wife's murder, only to find out there's a larger conspiracy. Sounds like the plot to Punisher.
It really does.
This is it's based on a Tom Clancy novel. Jamie Bell's also in it. Jodie Turner-Smith. I like Michael B. Jordan. I'll see it, I guess. It's the screenplay is by Taylor Sheridan.
Oh, okay.
So that's the guy from Hell or High Water fame.
Yeah. Well, it's the guy who directed Sicario: Day of the Soldado.
Yeah, not as good as
Stefano Sollima. Day of the Soldado, not. It's good. It's okay. It's not great. Sicario is a fantastic film. Dave the Soldado, not so much.
Not so much.
Not so much.
But moving on.
Moving on. We are now on September 25th, The Last Night in Soho, which is a film directed by Edgar Wright, which Steve and I actually talked about right before we started recording this never-ending podcast episode.
Yes.
This is the newest film by Edgar Wright. A young girl passionate about fashion design is mysteriously able to enter the 1960s, where she encounters her idol, a dazzling wannabe singer. But 1960s London is not what it seems, and time seems to fall apart with time seems to fall apart with shady consequences. I'm fascinated. I'm always interested to see what Edgar Wright's up to. I think he's a rather unique director. I love his style.
Yeah.
I really liked.
There's really not
Baby
a movie
Driver.
of his I don't like, honestly.
Even I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like the third film in the Cornetto trilogy,
It's still fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, even though they thought it maybe was the least of the Cornetto trilogy, I still dug it a lot. I've still seen it several times. I love Scott Pilgrim. Like, I've seen that movie so many times. But I really like this cast. I really like this premise, and I'll see this movie. I have no qualms about it whatsoever.
Next film out that The Many Saints of Newark is the Tony Soprano movie, the Sopranos prequel movie, where you have Alan Taylor's directing it. You have the actual son of
James Gandolfini
playing the young Tony Soprano. John Bernthal's in here. Vera Farmiga's in here. I mean, I've never seen The Sopranos, so I couldn't.
Well, I have, and basically this takes place during like the childhood of the titular character of Tony Soprano, portrayed by the late James Gandolfini, and this takes place, I believe, during the 1967 riots in Newark. And so I'm very curious to see that political backdrop, or that turmoil backdrop with and how it affects the character, because there was an episode in The Sopranos that flashed back to that time in the Tony Soprano character's life. So they're kind of taking that and building a feature film around it. Now, I'm curious if this is getting a theatrical release, or if it's just going to be an HBO movie. That's The Many Saints, if it's going to get that full theatrical release in theaters, because I don't know if people would necessarily rush to the theater to see it, and I think it would probably be more probably be more watched on HBO than any place else.
Probably. It's probably going to be HBO because that's the home of the show.
I see no other. Yeah. It just says it's in post-production now, so expect.
And you got to think by that time HBO Max will be out.
Oh yes.
So yeah, it probably will.
I would definitely launch that on there.
It close to that, yeah.
So that's
the Trial of Chicago 7 is a Aaron Sorkin movie.
Oh.
It's got a great cast. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Michael Keaton, Jeremy Strong, Eddie Redmayne, Sacha Baron Cohen, Mark Rylance, John Carroll Lynch, Frank Langella. I mean, it's a great cast. And it's about a story of 7 people in trial stemming from various charges surrounding the uprising at the 1968 Democratic National Convention in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh. Have you ever seen the movie Medium Cool?
I haven't yet. I know it's on Criterion, yeah.
Yeah, that actually I think takes place around that.
Okay.
That as well. But it was it's like a documentary.
Okay.
Like footage. But it's part documentary, part fictional. That very, very interesting. The way Axel Wexler did that. I highly recommend that movie for cinephiles out there and whatnot.
Okay.
Robert Forster, the late Robert Forster, was in it. It's a film. A TV news reporter finds himself becoming personally involved in the violence that erupts around the 1968 Democratic National Convention. That's literally the premise of Medium Cool.
Cool.
That just kind of just triggered and reminded me.
Check it out.
Let's see.
October
now we're on
2nd.
to October.
Yeah, October 7th. Really the only movie we can talk about right here is Venom 2.
Yeah, Venom 2, which is actually they're filming that now.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a cool.
Yeah, we just saw pictures
turnaround.
of Carnage
Yes.
Played by
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson. We saw some pictures of him. I mean, we're getting more of an idea that it's going to be connected to the MCU. With this and Morbius coming out, very close to each other.
Within a couple of months.
Yeah. So
I'm curious how this one does, because the first one was a surprise financial success, like I said earlier, because it's not a great movie. It's a wild, I couldn't even it's not a great movie. I'm just saying it's not a great movie.
I'm just gonna say
it's a new director. It's a new director with Andy Serkis at the helm, and they're filming this movie literally now. So by the time this movie's done and they go into post, they're only gonna have a couple of months in post with all those special effects that they need to put in for the symbiote and stuff. I'm curious what this is gonna look like when it's done. I mean, they must have everything set up and ready to go based off the first film. That's the only thing I can think of.
I guess.
But October 9th is
Death on the Nile.
Death on the Nile
is the sequel to The Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes, it is. Written and starring Kenneth Branagh, and of course based on the Agatha Christie novel. And this film
another big
has a
cast.
Yeah.
You got
Rose
Gal
Leslie,
Gadot, Armie
Hammer,
Russell Brand.
Annette Bening. Russell Brand is in this. I'm very curious what that's going to look like. Letitia Wright, who was in Black Panther, she's in this. I like the first. I liked.
It's fine. It's fine.
I thought it was fine as well. I enjoyed watching it in the theater. Gorgeous aesthetic, I'll tell you that. And Kenneth Branagh looks like he was just hamming up every damn scene he was in. But it was fine. So, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Nothing really.
Respect is the Aretha Franklin movie with Jennifer Hudson. I mean, it's probably going to be a stereotypical biopic, but it's gonna probably have a lot of great music in it. That's about all I can say about that.
And The Witches is Robert Zemeckis' film.
It's a remake.
And it's a remake / readaptation of the Roald Dahl 1983 classic. That's a children's book that was made in the late 1980s with Jack Nicholson and Angelica Houston, I think, was in it. I think I actually have this book. I've read some Roald Dahl, but I don't think I've ever read The Witches.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway is in this film. Octavia Spencer, Chris Rock, Stanley Tucci. Yeah, I'm very curious.
We'll see.
We'll see. We shall see.
October 16th. This is a big one. Halloween Kills, the sequel. To the last.
Now let's hope, Stephen, that this is not just a remake of the original film. Again,
I've heard that this is going to have a little bigger scope than most Halloween movies. That's what I've heard. It's an interesting title. I do like the team's coming back. David Gordon Green. You have Jamie Lee Curtis and Judy Greer, and you have Anthony Michael Hogg in this movie.
Yeah, it's the same exact production team. Yeah. Even the writers, Danny McBride and whatnot.
They actually shot a lot of this in North Carolina.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah, so
like I said, same cast, same everything. I'm curious how they're going to. They've done this a million times in the franchise. How they're going to write Michael back into the franchise, judging about the ending events of the first film. I know a lot of people were hyped about that first movie. I liked it, but it's very much a remake of the original film, right down to the annoying teenage characters that I really wanted to die while watching the movie. They were it was so annoying. But I really like the Halloween franchise. I think I own those movies several times over, and I've seen them several times. So I'm definitely going to be in the theater for that. See, that's a good, right in the middle of October, that's the perfect time for that movie to come out.
Yeah. So
next week is
Snake Eyes.
What?
Yeah, we have the spin-off movie from the G.I. Joe character.
Henry Golding's. Goodness, they're actually doing this.
Yeah, Henry Golding's playing Snake Eyes.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of this. So I don't have anything to say about it. But
is it even?
I do like Henry Golding though.
Yeah, I do like Henry Golding, but I don't even know if it's a spin-off or if there's just.
They're just making a movie about Snake Eyes, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. Which I think is one of the most popular G.I. Joe characters.
Yeah. the other movie, Those Who Wish Me Dead, is Taylor Sheridan's next movie.
Yeah, and his previous film was like my favorite film the year it came out.
Winter. What's it called?
No, it was To Hell or High Water.
No. The last movie he did was the Wind River. That was the last movie
you're
he did?
Right, he did. Oh, did he write that or did he?
I thought he directed Wind River.
Oh, he did direct it.
Yeah.
And what was that then? Who? Huh.
Yeah.
He wrote Hell or High Water. He didn't direct it.
Yeah, he didn't direct Hell or High Water.
No, but he did. He wrote and directed Wind River.
Yeah.
You're right. That's also a really good movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I didn't like it as much as some of the other movies he wrote, but yeah, it's still a pretty good movie. This one's got Angelina Jolie, John Bernthal, Nicholas Hoult, Tyler Perry's in it. So yeah, I mean, this one's about a teenage murder witness finds himself pursued by twin assassins in the Montana wilderness, with a survival expert tasked with protecting him. A forest fire threatens to consume them all. So this sounds like this is going to be an exciting movie. And seeing Angelina Jolie in something kind of is interesting, other than a big special effects movie.
Yeah. Speaking of big special effects movies, Steven.
Oh, Jesus.
November 6th now, because we're in November.
Yeah.
The Eternals, which is Marvel's big movie of the year, other than Black Widow. They're only coming out with 2 this year. Yeah. The Eternals is co-directed by Kirk D'Amico and Brandon Jeffords, and it stars. Wow, no, that's different. Why did I not click on? Interesting. If you click on the link, it doesn't take you to where I wanted to go. So that's. Hold on, I might have to go to IMDb and do this the old-fashioned way.
It's a Marvel movie. It's got a big cast in it.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek. Yeah, this film is directed by Chloe Zhao. Chloe. Yeah, wasn't this the first? No, the second film in the MCU that's directed by a woman, because Captain Marvel was co-directed by a woman.
Yeah.
And there are only like 20-something movies in, but yeah, directed by Chloe Zhao, starring Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, who apparently has the best diet and training in the world, Gemma Chan, Kit Harington, Brian Tyree Henry. Very interesting, because this is a property that I don't think a lot of people are aware of within Marvel Comics, and this is kind of a little bit of a chance. This could be the next
Guardians movie,
That's what they probably hope it to be. It's cosmic. In the saga of the Eternals, a race of immortal beings who lived on Earth and shaped its history and civilizations.
Yeah,
that's the premise that it's on IMDb. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
because like I said, not a well-known property, but by this point, anything with Marvel on it is gonna make some money.
Oh, it's gonna make money. That cast
we need to see a trailer soon.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe not soon, probably
maybe with Black
summertime.
Widow we'll get something.
Yeah. If not for Black Widow, then definitely, obviously, Comic-Con and all that kind of stuff.
Another movie coming out that week, limited, is called Stillwater, and it's Tom McCarthy's next movie, which is the director of Spotlight, which won Best Picture.
Oh, yes.
This stars Matt Damon, Abigail Breslin. The father travels from Oklahoma to France to help his daughter, who has been arrested for murder. So this could be a pretty interesting drama. Maybe some Oscar buzz on this one, possibly.
Perhaps. I mean, we are hitting. What are we in November?
We're
already?
in November, so
that's the Oscar season.
But I could take the next movie on the list is a big Oscar. Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Oh,
that's
Steven,
be a big
I loved
Oscar
Clifford the Big Red Dog. When I was a kid, I loved
this was the big
those
deal.
Books.
Yeah. I kind of, we don't know much about this yet, but I might want to see this.
I mean, we just had a Sonic the Hedgehog movie come out, so Clifford the Big Red Dog isn't out of the realm of possibilities to watch. I love those books when I was a kid. There was an animated show also when I was slightly older, so I kind of missed out on it a little bit. But yeah, it's a children's property coming out in November. Never count out stuff when it comes to children's properties.
It'll be a big Thanksgiving movie.
Parents love to take their kids to keep them quiet for an hour or two. Granted, their attention span doesn't seem to be that long, but I'm interested. I'm just going back to Stillwater. Check out Tom McCarthy's other work. The Station Agent is a film that no one talks about, and it's a fantastic film.
Win-Win.
Win-Win's another one. I mean, Spotlight we've talked about. But yeah, so Deep Water is a film by Adrian Lyne. Man, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Adrian Lyne directed a lot of those like 80s films like that like Fatal Attraction, Jacob's Ladder, 9.5 Weeks.
So
Flashdance,
sex thrillers.
Yeah. I was gonna say like sexy movies from the 80s and 90s, but you kind of summed it up. Like he directed the readaptation of Lolita in '97 with Jeremy Irons. He directed Unfaithful. Like I guess Indecent Proposal. Like he had like a sexy movie thing.
He hit, yes. He likes sexiness in his movies.
Yeah, I guess he does. But apparently he's making another movie. It's called A Well-to-Do Husband Who Allows His Wife to Have Affairs in Order to Avoid a Divorce Becomes a Prime Suspect in the Disappearance of Her Lovers. Steven, this is a movie straight out of the 80s. Straight out of it.
And Ben Affleck has to be in it.
Oh my goodness, who is in this movie? Oh, Anna de Armas is in it, Ben Affleck, Tracy Letts. Oh man.
Rough.
What a movie. I can't believe he's literally making the same movie that he probably made 30 to 40 years ago.
Well, they probably told him, hey, look, these stupid sex movies like 50 Shades of Grey is coming out. You might as well make one of your 80s sex movies.
I guess so. Apparently it's based on the book by Patricia Highsmith, Smith, who was she was a famous author. She did like her books were turned into like The Talented Mr. Ripley and stuff like that. Even like The American Friend, I think was based off of her work. The Wim Wenders film from the 70s. Yeah, I'm really surprised by that he's making the same movie. But anywho, that was just a weird coincidence. But moving on, November 20th, Steven, there's a big showdown that's about to happen. This is the throwdown fight of the century. Forget about the Thriller in Manila. Forget about all the boxing matches you've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's Godzilla vs. Kong. Yeah. This is coming out November 20th. Now,
probably going to be just like Batman v Superman, where they start out fighting and then they're best buds and they fight together against something bigger.
Probably. They would have to fight a bigger bad that they have to team up against.
It'll be Mechagodzilla.
Yeah, could be Mechagodzilla. I mean, what's interesting is that Godzilla just fought like every single bad guy in Godzilla King of Monsters, right? And so it's like, who's he fighting now? I mean, I guess we got to get somebody bigger.
It's got to be an alien. Alien coming from,
Could be. It'll probably be, oh man. It could be anybody. I was going to say something, but...
Could be anybody.
It could be anybody.
Could be,
Oh, it could be Gamera, who is the giant turtle kaiju. Mystery Science Theater did a famous series of watching the Gamera films, and Gamera was just a giant turtle kaiju, and it was just hilarious. But it could be him. But this movie got pushed back, I believe. And I love Godzilla. I love watching the movies, even the old ones where it's just people in suits like running around tiny like plastic villages and stuff, kicking over fake trains, all that kind of stuff. But this movie, a lot of things hinge on the success of the franchise going forward. Hinge on this movie because the last film wasn't a gigantic moneymaker like they thought it was going to be.
No.
And a lot of that had to do with the fact that the way they wrote the human characters in Godzilla King of Monsters wasn't great. I didn't need to concentrate on them. I didn't give a shit about them. They didn't need to concentrate on them. They could have just been Godzilla fighting monsters for 2 hours, and it would have been dope as hell.
Yeah.
Even though that aspect of the movie was still dope, still pretty awesome. But this has been leading up to this because we got the Kong movie, we got 2 Godzilla movies. I'm hoping this pays off. I'm really hoping it does. How do you feel?
I don't know. I don't feel anything for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of taking the wind out of my sails
I'm
there.
sorry. I mean, I just that last one didn't do anything for me, and I mean, I'm sure I'll see it once again. I guess I'm just getting really tired.
Yeah,
this is maybe the longest podcast we've ever done.
This is probably the longest one we've done since.
And I've had a long day.
I know, since we've done the Rocky, but let's move on then.
The Richard one looks interesting.
Yeah.
This is the Serena, the Williams sisters, the tennis players.
Yes.
This guy has Will Smith in it playing their father. So yeah, I mean, what's weird about this though is that Will Smith, if he ends up being the sole, like the focus of this movie, isn't that kind of weird? Like, isn't it supposed to be?
Oh yeah, because it's supposed to be about the sisters.
Yeah, so if it's about him, I'm gonna be,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see because I like Will Smith. I've always liked Will Smith. I'm fascinated about that film and about the relationship between the sisters as well as their father and that contentiousness that exists between like, parents and famous
pushing
athletes.
Their kids and
I mean like that. It's not even like athletes. Like even it's happened in the music industry. It's happened in the film world and all that kind of stuff. But moving on, there's Raya and the Last Dragon is a Disney animated film, with Awkwafina. It's in a realm known as Lumandra, a reimagined Earth inhabited by an ancient civilization. A warrior named Raya is determined to find the last dragon. Didn't we just have this with with How to Train Your Dragon? Did we just have?
Yeah,
this?
But that wasn't Disney.
I guess that wasn't Disney. You are correct, sir. That one's gonna be another one. It's coming out Thanksgiving. That was smart for the kids. Oh, Disney.
Oh well, I can tell you, Samaritan's a Sylvester Stallone movie, but it didn't look good.
Oh, for December 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares? December 18th.
Oh, Stephen, here we go.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! Look at this release date.
Yeah, no. Coming to America, the sequel that I don't know that I ever wanted, but
you want it.
But I'm afraid because I'm hearing it's not going to be rated R, so that's already dooming it a little bit. But Eddie Murphy made one of my favorite comedies back in the 80s, Coming to America, and now they're making another one, also called Coming to America.
Yeah, I kind of
hate it. But with the 2
that.
as actually a 2.
Yeah, I know. I hate when they do shit like that.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, this is directed by Craig Brewer, who I think is a great director. Watch Hustle and Flow if you've never seen Hustle and Flow. He also, I believe,
he just did Dolomite. Yeah.
Just did, yeah. What Dolomite Is My Name.
Yeah.
Which is on Netflix, is also great. It's really, really good. Eddie Murphy's making a little bit of a comeback right now, so this could keep that comeback train.
Hope that it's good. Yeah.
I mean, this James Earl Jones is back. Wesley Snipes, Arsenio Hall. They found him somewhere.
Yeah.
John Amos is back as McDowell. I wonder if they still have McDowells around. I'm curious.
I think it will be. And I've heard the barbershop guys are coming back too. Though they should be dead by now.
I guess, yeah, because technically it was like 34.
At least that Jew guy has to be dead by now.
I guess, but yeah, I wonder. Yeah, December 18th. Why are they having this coming out in December? I don't know.
I mean, it's counter programming to Dune, which
we know we got Denis Villeneuve's Dune. Now, Steven, I'm gonna see this movie. You're going to see this movie.
I'm gonna see the fuck out of this movie.
People who are like know what Dune is, like it's one of the most famous, science fiction fantasy books of all time. And it's kind of like an impossible adaptation. And they've done it before. David Lynch's Dune from the 1980s with Kyle MacLachlan. Sting is in that movie. It's not a great movie. It's fun as all hell. Well, but they've done it. I plan
to read the books before the first book at least.
Yeah, read the first one because I know it's just going to be based on that.
Yeah, but listen to this cast.
Yes, go ahead.
Timothy Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Jason Momoa, Zendaya. Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac, Javier Bardem, Dave Bautista, Stellan Skarsgård, Charlotte Rampling. I mean, and there's others that you might know, but them are the main ones.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
You know how much I love Denis Villeneuve's work, and how much Blade Runner 2049 was my favorite movie the year it came out. That movie still entraps me to this day. I love that freaking movie. I love like many of Denny's work. I think he's an amazing filmmaker, and I can't wait to see this film. I'm shocked that they let him like adapt this.
Especially
I'm
after
shocked
Blade
as
Runner.
hell. Especially after Blade Runner wasn't like a huge financial success, and it was a big budgeted movie. That movie was like 150, $200 million movie. It did not make like as much as I think it needed to make. $150 million estimated budget on that.
Yeah.
But this, I can only imagine what the budget is for this movie. I mean, because this is not going to be cheap. Not going to be cheap at all.
I guess they just have so much faith in him, man. I mean,
yeah, he's swinging for the fences.
Yeah, I mean, some Warner Brothers, if anything, they're very director centric.
They're willing to take
very
chances.
much put a lot of faith in their filmmakers.
Right.
So,
and then the next one, I mean, we could talk about Dune all day, but let's move on because we're getting towards the stretch here. We're trying to get to that finish line.
Last couple, we can do it.
West Side Story, Steven Spielberg.
Yes, a remake, of course.
Yes, it is, of the Oscar award-winning film, one of my favorite musicals of all time. And
Ansel Elgort's really the only actor in this that's of note. Really?
Yeah, he went with a relative unknown cast for the most. I mean, Rita Moreno is in it, Corey Stoll is in it. Yeah, but when it comes to the young cast, who are basically going to have to carry this movie because it's about their interactions and relationships, he went relatively unknown, other than of course Ansel Elgort. Rachel Zegler, who's playing Maria, she's someone that plucked from obscurity. Like I think she just auditioned. You know what I mean? They did one of those like big time auditions where they just, hey, everybody come and audition. We're gonna find who we need to find. And this movie's he's been working on this for a while. Because he did the Post like while he was making this movie or something like that. Yeah, it's an adaptation of the 1957 musical. The West Side Story explores the forbidden love and rivalry between the Jets and the Sharks, two teenage street gangs of different ethnic backgrounds. It's essentially a musical streetwise version of Romeo and Juliet. Yeah. That's what West Side Story is. And I think that's what it keeps the story alive and keeps it, people keep revisiting the Romeo and Juliet story over and over again because it's something that's universal and something that's still relevant to today when it comes to the way people treat other people who are from different ethnic races and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's still people who don't think certain, certain ethnic races should be in romantic relationships together and stuff like that. This garbage has been going on for decades.
Yeah, go watch the original before this.
Do watch the original because it's really fantastic. Amazing cinematography.
Won Best Picture of the year it came out.
Yes, it did. And December 23rd, right before Christmas.
We're not going to talk about these.
Oh, don't you dare take this away from me, Steven.
I'm going to take Croods 2 away from you.
Yeah, come on, Steven, because you know who's in it.
Nick Cage, I know. Yes. I was going to say, Nick Cage is in it, Ryan Reynolds is in it.
Nick Cage is the only one you had to mention, Steven. That's
okay, Nick. I was going to say their names, but I'm not. We don't need to talk about.
Yeah, we don't need to. All I'll say is that watch the Croods because it just Nick Cage in animated form is just freaking hilarious, and it's actually a pretty decent animated flick.
Tom and Jerry's getting a movie.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that it's 2020 and Tom and Jerry's getting a movie, and I have no idea what to say about this because I don't have
anything to say because
I love Tom and Jerry, but I don't know if they needed a movie in 2020.
Yeah,
I don't know who's going to see this other than me.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll probably skip this one.
Okay. So December 25th.
Paul Greengrass has got his next movie coming out.
Yes, he does.
News of the World. Tom Hanks is in it. I'm sure it's going to be an Oscar push movie because of the time period and because of the topic. A Texan travels across the Wild West, bringing the news of the world to local townspeople. Agrees to help rescue a young girl who was kidnapped. All right, Tom Hanks doing something different.
I'll see this. Whether it looks like a wide release for Christmas, which is very interesting. Maybe it'll be one of those like semi-wide and then wider in January. I don't know.
That's probably
what is crazy is out of all the movies that we've gone through, I don't think we've actually hit like a lot of those festival darling films that end up getting releases.
Yeah, well, they're probably still not set up yet. Yeah.
Yeah, because we've only really had Sundance I think South by Southwest is just around the corner. So, and then of course we have the Cannes Film Festival that always comes out in May, and then other film festivals and whatnot. So, a lot of films to see this year.
Yeah,
but that's pretty much it.
Tomorrow War is Chris McKay's next movie. It's a science fiction action movie. A man is drafted to fight in a future war where the fate of humanity relies on his ability to confront his past. It's got Chris Pratt is in it, J.K. Simmons. So yeah, that could end up being an interesting movie. Chris McKay stepping away from his political craziness that he's been doing lately. And then the last movie we'll talk about real quick is Ridley Scott's next movie.
Last Duel.
The Last Duel.
Looks like which is a
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon screenplay.
Yeah, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Ridley Scott. King Charles VI declares that Knight de Jean de Carouge settle his dispute with his squire by challenging him to a duel. And this film stars Adam Driver, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Jodie Comer. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a limited release, by the way.
Yeah.
This is probably what I just said. It's probably going to be limited
in December.
And it looks like it's getting a wide release January 9th to 2021.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be one of those.
This is going to be a silent situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But
that's it.
That's all we got.
In a nutshell, I'm about to pass out.
I'm about to pass out. Definitely. But that's it for this episode. We hope you could stay with us for the 2 hours and 15 minutes, an hour longer than we usually go. But there'll probably be more updates as the year goes on with the calendar and whatnot. But where can we find you, Andrew?
You can find me on Twitter at Capzilla06, as well as my YouTube channel, Capzilla Productions.
And you can find me on Facebook, Stephen Billings. You can find me on Instagram, Cinema Discovery Project. And you can find the audio for this podcast on Podbean or Apple Podcasts. Thanks for listening. And hey, keep on watching them movies.
I know I will.